Jay's hands.
Yeah. And the O-line, I guess, there's some uncertainty there, right?
Well, they drafted their first round pick was a tackle.
That's right, yeah, that's true.
Hopefully he can produce. One of my roommates in college was a professional offensive lineman for 12 years,
Oh, yeah?
which is a huge career as a lineman.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty long.
But that's back when they
I
paid
have that
nothing.
one?
It's broke
Does it
now.
not bring that one? Okay. What's the next one?
But he's got
33 Putnam Hill Road.
has 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, we got the DEP number for that.
2 months.
Ready?
303 10.
Stand for the pledge to the flag.
Gotta
What?
open the meeting.
112
Premature.
All right.
30.
So,
Today's July 23rd. What is it, the 23rd? Today's July 23rd. Welcome to conservation. If you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, right?
is it?
That's what Bill always says.
Oh, he must just do that. You can just stay, please. She didn't write any of that down.
I'm not chairman material.
Stand for the pledge of allegiance.
We're starting the meeting? Yeah, we're starting the meeting.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Roll call. Unavailable tonight is William Wentz, the chair. In-person staff, Wanda Bean, Brandon Faniff, consultant. Mike McGovern, vice chair. Robin Jakes is supposed to be here, but she's not here now. Timothy Thompson, James Marin, and associate Jared Duvall. Good evening, everyone. Pursuant to Governor Healy's March 28th, 2025 order extending the temporary provisions pertaining to the open meeting law until June 30th, 2027, this meeting of the Sutton Conservation Commission is in hybrid format and is being recorded. The recording will be available on the town's website and YouTube channel. So first up tonight is 45 Stone School Road, and do we have anybody here tonight to speak in behalf of that project?
You guys want a paper plan?
Yes, please.
Give them a plan.
Give it to Tim. I got to see it prior to the meeting, so. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn Kowalski, when you're ready. Chair, Vice
Yes,
Chair.
please.
Glenn Kowalski from EBT Environmental Consultants, Inc. We realize that we're just presenting this now and that your policy would be to look at paperwork at least, I believe, 7 days prior to the meeting. So if that is the policy and it is just coming in, then we will be asking for a continuance. At the last meeting, it was stated that we realize 25 feet is the closest you've ever permitted. We're going for a variance to get 25 feet from the road and 25.2 and .4 from the wetland. We have eliminated filling or replication, and Jay Finley has worked on the plan. There are a couple more points that should be put on the plan, which would be the trees. We flagged the pine trees that are surrounding the house, and that's in a small report I sent over to Wanda, which she might have, but I'm sure you don't have it. Maybe Mr. Faniff might have seen it. I know we sent it to him, but again, in last minute, I don't expect that he went through the thing. But it's brief. So trees, and there was a question at the last meeting about whether or not this was going to affect different standards which we protect under the Wetland Protection Act, as groundwater, surface water, pollution, fisheries, shellfish, not shellfish here, and the other standards. So we did write a small paragraph relative to the fact that this has been a somewhat drained wetland. We can show that from the detention structure that's on the side road, Fox Run Road. And we did present that in the report showing that basin. We've been there before. It's draining the groundwater table and surface water directly up gradient of this, and that would, up gradient would be east of this site. There's some indication of this also from the hydric soils that are inland of the wetland line that apparently has been agreed upon by your consultant, Mr. Faniff. Growing upland, predominance of upland vegetation, but still having a very low chroma soil. 2.5 wide, 5.2 or something. 2 would be a hydric soil color, a gray color. So again, it was suggested that we approach the conservation before Mr. Murphy goes in front of the ZBA, which is on the 7th of August. We just heard from Mr. Lane that it'll be the 7th.
Yep.
And if indeed, and I can ask Wanda if you would let me, that you might have a meeting the day before that, on that Wednesday, because they meet on Thursday. So potentially, if the commission grants us the continuance to give you time to review this plan and possibly put the additional trees on the plan, then we can see what the commission would say at that date after they've had time to review and your consultant has had time to review. The house has been reduced down to 700 square feet times 2. It'll be 1,400 square feet, reduced in width to move it away from the wetland. And again, we have 25 feet in front of the house, 25 feet behind the house. It's been positioned again for that 25 feet. We realize what your regulations call for, improving that, well, this one thing would be the best we can do if we do get ZBA approval. And as far as the brook system, I'll go back into the intermittent stream. I went downstream just to the property boundary. There's no flow path leaving this site. There is a wetland vegetation. It becomes more predominant on the adjacent neighbor to the south. And eventually, by the time it gets 540 feet down from Fox Run, which we call the shunting of the water through the detention structure down Fox Run, down south with the school road at 540 feet. So eventually this water some of the water that used to drain onto this lot, again, is shunted down to the intermittent stream where it is discharged. Other small points would be that the brook system, Cold Spring Brook, is 3,000 feet away. And we've worked with Fish and Wildlife over the years since '79 and stormwater since 96, 97, and we're not near is the term, because I've pushed the word near, because I've had intermittent tributaries and tributaries that flow into main stem brooks that have cold water fisheries, and we've always pushed to get those tributaries that do support eastern brook trout into the main stem protected, but there's a point where 3,000 feet might not be called near. And plus, it's very intermittent at our location. Again, not even a leaf movement coming off our lot, as we are a very headwater wetland. There's no wetlands above us coming in, so this is the first groundwater discharge with a diminished flow. The only thing that we might offer, we looked at the basin as being filled in by leaf debris. Over the years, people have been filling it in. There's a small, we would offer the town, and we've done this in other towns, to do some maintenance of that, because apparently this was before the time that towns took over basin. So the capacity of the basin, if there was any give back that we could give, besides exotic invasive plants on this lot, which we can do that too, we can offer at least a removal of the material that's at the face against Fox Run of filling that basin. That's a small nutrient loading that goes down the pipe. That's a small thing that we can offer, because, and we would also put a lock on that gate so that it's not accessed, because that is the neighbor's dump. Again, I'm here to answer any questions. Obviously, Mr. Murphy is here, and Mr. Fan might have questions, or you might, and I'm here.
Thank you very much. Brendan?
I thank you for asking, Mr. Chairman, but I don't have any questions at this time, because I haven't seen these plans yet, so I need a little more time.
Thank you.
Understood. Jamie, did you have any questions?
Yeah, I have a few, if that's all right.
Yes, please.
You had mentioned that you're working on a tree count and a tree count,
Yeah,
right?
can I answer at the same time? I hate to, I did
Oh,
flag.
sorry, yeah, please.
I did
He's
flag
addressing it to
I
you,
did
yeah.
flag the trees out there. Okay, so go on.
On the plan, there isn't, you flag the trees, but there isn't a limit of cutting, right? So,
Want me to answer to that?
Please.
With the limit of work, the 5,900 square feet or somewhat, 5,613 square feet is what we have the erosion control around to the road. And again, the house is 700, and no, we didn't put the trees on the plan because this, I just got back from Sardinia, but that's no excuse. We do plan on having Mr. Finley pick up those trees and put them on the plan.
okay.
They're basically six large, the white pines. We want to keep the ones directly outside our limit because, as you know, the pines are like a sail, and if you leave one in the middle, then it has a chance, but the pines will be still surrounding the lot, which will help to buffer any additional wind. That's what
So
I'm saying.
outside of the defined limited disturbance, there'll be no tree removal?
That's correct.
Okay. Okay. Have you given any thought to replanting?
We have in a native forage crop, mast crop, winterberry. We want to put the other things on the plan, but again, this is not the final plan. So planting, tree coming down, those are two things we do plan on adding in. One other thing that we just did in Grafton, if it can be appropriate here, is we also, because of the problem with people filling in the wetland with brush like we're having over at the detention structure, we've been putting on plans, a compost location designated, so away from the wetland, because people let to their own vices or devices, whatever, they might just fill it in, so we actually designate them on a plan, especially something this tight.
I expressed a concern at the last meeting, and I still have it. It has to do with the people that are downgrade, the two houses that are immediately downgrade. And in terms of managing the runoff, the groundwater runoff, the pipes that they have that go under their driveways and stuff like that are pretty small, like 6-inch diameter, you know. How do you see the impact on the site impacting them?
We, when we looked at the other thought, and clearly we've had it, we just haven't got the Finley, is to actually calculate the reduction in the water flow to this location, and then calculate what is discharging to see what storm event those pipes, and we would look at the size of the pipe. I haven't been on the property to see that there's 6. I was hoping.
They're small, I don't, you know.
Whatever they might be.
Right.
To cover that point, because the neighbor did come to the meeting that I was at, the last one, about potentially receiving overflow or overwhelming his pipes. The one thing we could do is know the size of the pipe, and secondly, through engineers that we have on the board, we would look at the volume of water coming off this, knowing, again, that the water from the subdivision directly above us is both surface and groundwater, is shunted around this lot. So with calculating that water coming into basins, catch basins, in Cape Cod berms, and sending it over to Fox Run detention, and from there, all the way down Fox, and then southward 540 feet, a majority of the water from the hill above us, which we have on our plan, showing that subdivision, we would give that to Finley, calculate what's being sent around. We had looked at that subdivision, we want to know when it was built. We, originally when I got involved, because there was a contention by Paul McManus that this was a drained wetland, and I'm saying, we've seen drained wetlands for gravel pits that have done draining, but not looking so much as is the water shunted around because of an entire subdivision being sent to a basin and then sent down and away southward. And that would have to be looked at to satisfy your question.
Okay. The plan has come a long way.
Thank you.
The plan has come a long way. I remain concerned about the abutters
Yes, sir.
and the impact of very substantial trees and water tables and, you know, the disturbances to others. And maybe one thing that you could consider are plantings in the wetland, maybe some swamp maples or something. You don't have a lot of land where you can plant, right? You're kind of cut, and the space that you're kind of cut, you're going to need to accommodate
Yes, sir.
the home, right? reclamation activities and like you had mentioned, cleaning the wetlands out, get the tires out of there, there's probably a shopping cart in there, I don't know, I didn't, but clean them up, invasive removal, and maybe even some selective plantings that would be water users. And I think that I've been to this lot way too many times, right? This has been going through the boards forever. I'm pretty familiar with it. I think that you're being a little bit optimistic with your limited tree cutting being within the limited disturbance. I think as you're facing the house, I think that to the right of it, you're probably going to need to cut a little bit more, I would think, because there's large pines there, and you're not, like you said, an isolated tree is not a good thing to have an isolated pine especially is not a good thing to have next to a house.
We would meet with Mr. Finley, and because he's the engineer, and we would look at whether it's some limbing or additional trees, but we'll have them on the plan. We'll put
Okay,
our minds
yeah.
together out there on that point. And the other point about planting in the wetland, if it is allowed, we would remove, say, some Oriental bittersweet, which we know is back up, but they're in the wetland. And I believe there's Japanese barberry and a little bit of multiflora rose. So if we were saying that we're removing 10 exotic invasives, which I'm going to a meeting at 7:15 on this in Auburn, plenty of time. We could put back in some plants for where we remove exotic invasives.
Okay. Like I said, I appreciate your attention to this, and the plan has come a long, long way. And to the extent that you can address those issues,
We will.
in theory, I'd be in pretty good shape.
We will address that.
That's it.
Jared, did you have anything?
Just to echo Jamie's sentiment on downstream impacts, potential for that. That's probably my lingering concern.
And I agree with everything Jamie said,
Excellent.
especially with the large trees. I'd rather see them come down now
Then ask later.
than
because
ask later,
they're-
because they will, people will, so.
As I should.
I'd rather see them come down now with mitigation,
Identify them on the
Yeah.
plan, don't come back later.
but otherwise,
You've got it.
that's why it's good to have Jamie go first. He says everything that I'm thinking.
Excellent, excellent. Is there anybody on Zoom tonight that would like to speak? Nope. Just take a good look at the trees, and maybe if they're outside the limit of disturbance, you could leave the stump or tell us you're gonna grind it. But take a look at the trees, because,
We have to.
well, because they'll come back, and then they'll be in front of us as soon as you sell the house. They'll want to take the trees down, and then,
Right.
it's so,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm in favor of it as well. Like, it's come a long way, and
Yes,
I
yeah,
think he's done a good job.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys.
All right. So just work on those things Jamie talked about, and we'll see. So we're gonna continue it till the next
We
meeting?
request a continuance to your next meeting.
Thank
please.
you.
The First Wednesday probably of the month, I believe you are.
So a motion to close the public hearing?
Continue.
didn't open a public hearing.
Oh,
Continue.
Continue.
The
oh,
meeting
that's
is-
right, that's
yeah.
right, we're not closing it.
Right.
It's been open for a while, so
Yeah,
just continue.
yeah, it's been open for, yes.
You're close.
August 6th?
August 6th at 6:15.
6:15, thank you.
I'll make a motion to continue 45 Stone School Road till August 6th at 6:15.
Thank you again for your time.
Second?
Thank you,
I have a
guys.
motion, and I have a second. Tim, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
James?
Aye.
And I also might vote aye. All right,
Good evening,
next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
I'm gonna take this.
Okay, at 6:05.
Keep that.
Yeah, we'll keep this.
So the next on the agenda is 333 Putnam Hill Road. And this is a new one, so I got to read this in. So, in accordance with the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act, and the Sutton Bylaw, 12 Wetlands Protection, the Conservation Commission will hold a hearing to review a notice of intent submitted by Kathy Trainer, Sutton, Mass. The hearing will be held on Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025, at 6:05 PM. The project consists of a septic system repair for a 3-bedroom house within the 100-foot buffer zone of a BVW at 333 Putnam Hill Road. Good evening.
Good evening.
For the
Record, my name's Margaret Bacon with Civil Site Engineering, and I have with me my engineering assistant, Trevor Martin, who's going to give me a hand tonight. So we're here tonight with the septic repair, representing the trainers for a septic repair up there on 333 Putnam Hill Road. Now, if you want, Trevor can give a brief presentation of the project, if that'd be helpful.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, so let me just... So Trevor, if you want to come over here and just briefly describe what we're doing. Can you see this okay, everyone?
Actually, I can see that,
Move your microphone closer to.
Oh, yeah, the microphone, please, just for the audience. Thank you.
So, yeah, so you want to kind of speak to the microphone
Yeah.
and make sure they can see this, okay?
Okay. All right. So to start off today, we have this address, which is approximately like a quarter mile north of the Tucker Pond. It's an existing 3-bedroom house that's in need of a septic repair. So we have the 50-foot wetland buffer line right here outside of the erosion control. And inside towards the driveway, we have the 100-foot wetland buffer. These are both from wetland flags that Margaret Bacon has done, wetland flags 1 through 7. We also have the 100-foot well radius, and we picked this location for the new system because it doesn't impact anything like trees. We won't have to take any trees down. It's outside of the 50-foot wetland buffer, and it's outside of the 100-foot well radius. So, yeah,
Good job. Well, thank you.
of course.
Margaret, you good?
We're good, so if you have any questions, we'll try to answer them.
Okay. Brandon, did you have any questions for Margaret?
I don't. This is pretty
Summary.
straightforward. Here's the plan. You have any questions about the plan before I move on to some pictures to show you what the lay of the land looks like?
Guys? No. Good access, pretty cut, yeah. No.
The lay of the land is pretty straightforward. And here's the house. The septic system's gonna go down in this corner right here in the lawn. Gravity fed, I presume. This is the area, in fact, you can see this where there's a little bit of open soil where they did the perk test. And here's the wetland. Very picturesque. It's actually Dark Brook. I was talking to the owner, and she says that they have quite the beaver population, which is why it's so, looks more like a marsh or a pond than a river. And then I have pictures of, I wanted to show, here's the backyard again. Again, it's all going to be in pre-existing disturbed areas. Here's a cherry tree that lost all of its leaves this year, which is a mystery, so took a picture of that so I could figure out what's going on with the poor cherry trees. And right here is the well, so I wanted to just trust but verify. The well location, which is why the septic system is in the backyard as opposed to the front yard. So, that's that.
Jared? Jamie, Jared?
No.
I as well have no questions. Does anybody out on Zoom have any questions? Does anybody from the audience?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for 3:30. Do we have a DP number? It's not on my.
Yes.
Good,
Yes,
yes.
we do. We
So,
just got it
a motion to
today.
close the public hearing for 333 Putnam Hill Road.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Tim, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
James?
Aye.
And I vote aye.
And I'll make a motion to approve an order of conditions for 333 Putnam Hill Road.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Tim, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice
Yeah,
job
good
on your
night.
first, I don't know if that's your first one,
Yeah,
but you
first
did,
one.
you did
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Jamie seconded.
No, Jamie did.
All right, next up at 6:10 is 265 Mendon Road. And I believe that would be Karen. She would be on Zoom. Oh, no, Mark's here. Okay.
Good evening, Mark Allen with Allen Engineering Associates.
Last name.
Martin.
Yeah, unfortunately, Karen Keegan has moved to North Carolina and is no longer with Allen Engineering Associates.
No kidding.
Full-time North Carolinian.
Wow.
I have to remove her name off the list.
this is a continued public hearing for a notice of intent for Patrick Lundgren. The last we spoke, or the commission spoke with Karen, was June 26th, was a site walk. We had the property line staked. We had the limit of work staked. We had the houses staked. We had the septic staked. At that time, there was some discussion about runoff, and we had explained to the commission that we have sort of mitigated for these two small lots, or these two lots, that we're going to have roof infiltration. We're going to have additional pickup from the driveways. And we kind of showed that on the site walk. What I wanted to do for the commission tonight, which I don't know if this has been shown before, but sort of zoom out and look at it from a macro scale as opposed to a micro scale. The 8 acres of the two parcels is shown in pink, and the lot is being split by the line in yellow. One of the DEP comments that we had early on in the discussion was regarding the potential vernal pool on the property, and we did have that confirmed as a vernal pool, and was flagged as such, and that's shown in blue on the property. So you can see that the limit of work that we're showing on 253 and 265 are, well away from that vernal pool and well away from and outside of the buffers and the no disturb zones, as previously just explained before. So just kind of here to see if the commission had any questions, follow up from the site walk, and any questions prior to.
Thank you, Mark. Brandon?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I was at the site walk with you, and the main issue is the direction of the flow of water and how we will prevent the water from impacting the neighbors. Did I get that clearly enough? Right? Particularly the lot on the left-hand side, which is what?
Just for the record, because this time is for 265, is that on the left or the right?
The right.
So we had
So the
discussion
lot on the
piece of
right,
property. Yeah.
there were no objections or no concerns from my memory and recollection from the site visit.
Okay. I as well,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's 253 where the
We'll wait till,
water issues, so that's not this one.
yep, we'll wait till the next one. Are you good?
Can I, through the chair, can I make a comment on 265? Just, I wasn't at the site meeting.
Yep.
Yeah, that's,
265.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I'd watched, I wasn't present at the last meetings, but did watch, and certified to Wanda that I'd viewed those. My only question is regarding the proposed basin that was added, and looking at the proposed bottom of basin relative, and again, there was no soil test data right in the footprint of that, but looking at the perk test and deep hole data, it looks like it's right at basically the high groundwater. So I didn't see what that basin was called out as, how it was supposed to function. And then I still have some concern about, in the absence of any calculation or HydroCAD analysis, how do we know that it's going to work and not discharge at that overflow onto the roadway and impact the abutters? So that's.
Sure. So that basin is off to the right-hand side of the
Right.
driveway. What it is intended to do is pick up a very minimal amount of water that's going to shed from the driveway to, if it didn't go to the street, would be picked up in the basin, and it's about a 2-foot basin, and it's designed to overflow.
Oh, Mark, I'm sorry, to the microphone, please. You gotta hold the, did you see the young
Yeah,
gentleman earlier?
I'd put this up on paper. I don't have this one, I don't think. I'll look, but go ahead.
No, you're on a good roll, just take the microphone, walk
Gotcha.
around with it. Feel free.
Oh, wow. You're like a rock star.
Sorry, Mark.
So as you can see, that basin is meant to take on just very little water, just from the existing driveway, as it sheets off and kind of channels into that basin. And then the intent was to just not have it discharge into the street and have it just discharge over land flow into the wetlands. So it's not meeting any, Mass 10 state standards by any means. It's a single-family residential house lot. We don't necessarily need to meet the 2-foot separation or 4-foot separation without groundwater mounting analysis calculations. So it's meant to be a temporary settling area so as to not discharge into the street.
That's what I was curious about.
Yeah.
It's not proposed for infiltration, just.
Correct.
It's, so you've done.
Not to go to the street.
Some amount of calculation based on the impervious area right of the driveway to
Yeah.
just roughly size it, And then again, it's going to discharge.
Not to
similar-
the street, but.
Not to the street, but.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, that was one of my lingering concerns for this property as well, is just making sure that, it wasn't proposed as infiltration. I didn't see a detail for the basin.
Right.
So just kind of wanted to confirm that. I think that's my, my one outstanding concern for this site.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Jamie?
Jared Kaplan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Robin?
I'm
Thank
catching
you for
up.
coming.
I'm getting there.
Does anybody on Zoom? I didn't think so. Anybody from the audience that'd like to speak, please come up. Just state your name for the record. You got to speak into, it's easier, just sit down. Speak into the microphone, please. Thank you.
My name's Larry Cohen. I live at 269 Mendon, and my wife Peggy's here too. And we had sent Wanda some pictures during a rainstorm, and as it is, Mendon Road gets pooled up. The water just runs down the side of the road and creates an icy area right in front of our driveway. And it's coming. I mean, it starts. The pictures I sent, they start in front of the lots that.
Just
that
so
are
we could
proposed.
understand, are you to the left or the right?
We are, so we are to the right of the lot, yeah.
The house way in the back.
Yes, the house.
Mark,
way
could
in
you
the
just
back.
spin it back? Just go over with them about what we just talked about in the basin. And I know you talked fast, and we all followed you, but that's years of training, right, everyone?
So your driveway is in this location, and I think it was well talked about at the site walk, if I'm not
I'm
mistaken.
not sure that's our driveway, because we're not across from the proposed lots. We're abutting it. As you head down the hill towards Uxbridge Road,
So you're down in here?
Right to the right of
It must be to the
265.
right, yeah. It's 269.
this is Mendon Road, right?
It is.
And where's Uxbridge Road? So if this is Mendon, we're up in here.
Okay.
There's a yellow colonial right here.
Yeah, that's a few hundred feet away from our site,
Okay,
yeah.
so what I'm saying is this water's pooling up here now and creating a lot of ice in the winter right down in front of our driveway. So we're just concerned that there'll be even more water.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we,
Pictures?
and that's exactly what we talked about, Mr. Cohen,
Yep.
was that the runoff that is coming off of these lots post-development is going to be either picked up from the roof drains, the gutters, and put back into the ground, or any overland flow is going to be picked up and put into these temporary settling basins to get it off of the road and into the wetlands. That's exactly what this commission and your concerns are, and that's exactly what we're addressing here tonight.
I mean, you guys would, that's the picture that's up there now, yeah. And, that's our driveway. And we were just concerned that it would be worse if there was more runoff.
Yeah, that's on the opposite side of the Crown Street, and I'd say at least 300 or 400 feet away from our site.
There's other pictures that are further back towards your site, though. You can see that there's water pooling up there also. So, I mean, I'm no expert, I leave it to you guys to, to kind of do that for us. Thanks.
Thank you for coming in tonight. Is there anybody else that would like to speak about this project?
Probably speak for the next property though,
Okay. Yep, we'll give you a chance for the next one.
I
Thank
have
you.
a question for Mr. Allen.
Yeah.
Mark, before you leave, could I have that map for the record? Because I don't have the whole picture.
Okay, yeah, I just did a couple presentation plans for tonight. I can send it, I can take them off the board for you if you want, or send a PDF.
PDF would be great, that'd be fine.
If everyone's good, I feel we've done our due diligence on this one. I'd be looking for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for 265 Mendon Road.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Why don't you skip this vote? We'll let Jared just show
Yeah.
up. Is that okay?
Yeah, fine with
Tim?
me.
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
Aye.
And I might vote aye. Thank you
Thank you.
for that one. Next is,
Are we doing a order of conditions?
oh,
Yeah, now you vote for an order of conditions.
I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions for 265 Mendon Road. The DP number is 3031026.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Tim, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
Jamie? Aye. And I also vote aye. All right. So, 6:15, we have a public hearing for 253 Mendon Road. Mark, you're already in the seat, so
Absolutely. Mark Allen again with Allen Engineering Associates, here on behalf of Pat Lundgren. 253 Mendon Road is, as you see it on the screen on the left-hand side, that particular parcel has the vernal pool that we've highlighted in the blue crosshatch in the upper left-hand portion of the property. And the limit of work is well outside the vernal pool and a 100-foot radius to the vernal pool. So that all worked out in our benefit. And in similar fashion to 265, we've also created a small settling basin on the westerly side of the driveway so as to collect the small amount of runoff that's expected from the driveway. That side of the street actually sort of has an existing swale on that side of the street, so there's sort of less of a chance of water coming onto the street. There's a natural low point on that side on property, so it's a bit easier and easier to get the water that comes off of the driveway and back into the wetland location.
good.
I just want to make sure, Mr. Chairman, that we're looking at this view from 10,000 feet, but the plans that we have, I think, is closer to the ones that are down on the floor.
Yep.
So I just want to make sure, are we still working off the same plan that was
Yes.
submitted at the last meeting? Or,
Yes.
okay, I just want to make sure.
Yep.
I should have thought of that with the last one. Hit me now.
Yeah, so neither of the two plans have been revised since the last time you've seen them.
All right, so when we were at the site meeting, the whole idea was to try to keep water from potentially overflowing over Mendon Road and into the neighbor across the street's property. And we had some general ideas about how that might be done and try to regrade it so that the water would go towards the wetland instead of the road. So that's, my question is, ultimately, where is any overflow going to end up? That make sense?
That was our concern at the site.
Yeah,
That was what we,
So now that we're sort of zoomed in at a 20 scale drawing, that amount of flow is headed towards that settling basin, and that settling basin then discharges into the wetland. The natural swale that exists today, it's kind of light in contours, but the existing swale that exists today comes off the road and collects here. So we're very confident that the new driveway will get captured and discharge overland flow into the wetland.
I believe at the site visit, there's a pipe a little bit to the left.
Yeah, a little bit further down.
That was the concern.
Yeah.
Like you said, the water in the trench
Yep.
that leads to the pipe that crosses the road.
So, yeah, that pipe is more in this location, sort of about 150 feet away from this location, and it will not be impacted by the water coming off the driveway into the basin, and the overflow won't discharge into that pipe.
Brandon, did you have anything to add to that?
Just
Maybe he
wanna
should
make
walk
sure
us
that water
through.
doesn't.
Like I was gonna, Mark, one more time.
Yep.
I'm gonna make you do it one more time. Explain about the settling basin.
Yep.
And how it's not gonna enter into that culvert that crosses the street.
Absolutely. So we have done a micro survey of this whole area.
Actually, can you go to the full plan, just for this one? It just,
One behind us, too.
You know what might be easier?
I know, he's
Not
looking.
the satellite, but the the black and white. Sort of where the house is shown in pink, driveway in brown, settling basin just off to the west, and this point of which the wetland extends out into this location. So we've designed it in such a way that the water is going to shed off the driveway into the settling basin, and that settling basin is at an elevation where it will naturally go towards the wetland and not towards the culvert down the street.
What about conditions for the job that assures us this gets done before occupancy of the house?
Absolutely, and that's,
Because this, you have 3 years from, and we see the houses get done, and then
absolutely,
this part of it doesn't get completed, and the neighbor comes and says,
absolutely.
you guys told me there'd be a settling basin, and that this
Absolutely.
wasn't gonna happen, and so tell us about how we assure.
So I think as part of any order of conditions, there's usually a pre-construction, during construction, and post-construction part of the order of conditions. We are more than, happy to work with the commission to draft that language. It's been done in the past where we can ensure that this is one of the items done post, tree clearing, stumping, grubbing, installation of temporary settling basins. Have absolutely no issues with, agreeing to that sort of sequence, construction sequencing. And, if that's a commission's concern, I'd suggest that be sort of special condition number 1.
Is there anybody on the commission that would like to speak?
Yeah, through the chair.
Jared.
Mark, that pipe, that culvert under the road is there for a reason, right? The town put it in. So is it down gradient from that wetland in the vernal pool?
It's up gradient.
It's up gradient?
It's up gradient.
So, but if I'm not mistaken, the abutter's property is down gradient ultimately, so,
Previous abutter?
no, the abutter here.
Okay.
Where we're talking about potential impacts. So I guess I'm a little confused as to, was the pipe put there because this wetland is draining to the south, but now we're saying that the distilling basin is going to overflow, flowing north into that wetland? And if that's the case, then isn't it just going to make its way into that pipe anyways? And I think I had raised the concern back in May when these were initially heard, these, on both properties.
Yep.
About like a HydroCAD analysis, a pre-post analysis.
Sure.
Just to be able to put a number to it.
Sure.
To show that post-developed is not any worse than pre-developed. And I think what I saw in the last meetings, there was a little bit of pushback on that, on Karen's part, that it was not necessary. Maybe not so much on 265, but I
Yep.
think given the circumstances here,
More than happy to.
yeah, it may
More than happy
make, appease the abutter certainly to
Sure.
see it that, at least
Absolutely.
theoretically, and, that it is not getting any worse.
Absolutely. I'm very confident we can show that.
Okay.
Jared, just question, is there any improvements to that ditch that's there with the pipe that's on our side, just to assure it doesn't get clogged and further down the road?
I honestly, I live down the street, and I didn't even know there was a pipe there. I was familiar with the low point that Mark talked about, and I know that, at least anecdotally, it holds some water. But I didn't know that the pipe was there. I don't know if that's something that could be conditioned, or can the applicant work with the highway department to try to improve upon that?
Yeah, it would be within the town's right of way, so we'd need some sort of cooperation or,
Just to keep it clean, maintenance,
Yeah,
right?
right,
I think we
right.
talked about it at the first.
yeah.
Anybody else? Anybody from the audience? Oh, sorry.
From the discussion that we had at the site visit, I was kind of expecting a plan revision. I think that Jared, to the extent that you can show us the math and demonstrate that you're not making an existing condition worse, that would be helpful.
yep, more than happy to.
Anybody from Zoom would like to speak? Anybody from the audience? Please come up. Just state your name for the, you got it down.
Brian Spokus, 254 Mendon Road.
Thank you.
You covered a couple of my concerns, so that's already been addressed. That low point you talked about, culvert on the side of the road, is exactly where that drain is.
Yep.
The drain flows fine, trust me. It flows right into my property, so it's not a problem.
I just scolded him.
It's not a problem with the drain not flowing. The concern is there's more water going into the drain. based on-
Overburdening, yep.
Yes. Again, I understand what you're trying to do. I'm having a hard time seeing the pitch scenario where it's going to improve and not make its way back down. It naturally just flows. I'm lower than your lot, so it's going to naturally just flow back into that culvert, into that drain, which goes to my property. The only area that used to drain water now is going to have a septic system and a house. And I mentioned, I saw plans for a 3-foot wall on a flat piece of property, so that's concerning, how much fill is going in there if you need a 3-foot wall to contain that.
Mhm.
So again, where's that water gonna flow? It's gonna stay away from that property that used to absorb the water
Mhm.
and flow the wetlands / onto my side of the property.
Yep.
So again, it just goes back to, that water,
Absolutely.
it doesn't go over the road, it goes under the road in a
Right.
pipe to my property.
Right.
So it's not even an over the road issue on
Right.
my side, it
Right.
is on Larry's side.
Yep.
But on my side, it's actually under the road,
Right.
which flows into unfortunately, my side.
Yep. More than happy to do a little HydroCAD analysis, show the math pre and post. Show the capacity of the culvert now, capacity of the culvert post condition.
Any other questions?
Just through the chair.
Yeah.
You're gonna give us a construction phasing schedule too, is that
Sure.
correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to see that.
And just no occupancy without, do we say certificate? There's no, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Yeah, you have to have a certificate of compliance for occupancy.
We're gonna ask.
That's the easiest way to make sure the work's completed.
Right. But we're gonna ask to continue this.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah,
yes,
okay, all
yes.
right. I just wanted to be,
yes. We were
make sure
looking
I
for an
understood
improvement
right.
on the drawing, calculations,
Yep.
and he will come back with a construction schedule. And in that construction schedule, we want some language on the plan. It's always good to put it
Yeah.
right on the plan.
Absolutely.
That says the certificate of compliance before occupancy. Good, does everyone?
We all agree
See-
with the HydroCAD study is also.
Oh, yes, yes, we are asking for that as well.
So you're thinking a COC before occupancy?
Certificate of compliance. There's no there's nothing, all the work has to just be done and stabilize that. How else could you assure the commission that
I'm
it's
just,
done
I'm just
before
thinking if they want to
occupancy?
move it in the winter and the grass can't grow and you're going to issue a COC.
To do a partial, and we usually don't do them, but I would consider a partial for this.
Yeah.
Because then it'd have to come in, you'd have to state that it was done in accordance with the plan, and we were just
Correct.
waiting for a growing season, we
Correct.
could do a partial and allow them to close.
I
'Cause
would
we
think
never-
prior,
that-
if you do like a prior to occupancy, that Brandon can do an inspection to make sure that the drainage system is functioning properly.
No, I think a partial is more in line, because then you have to come with the paperwork
Yep.
and just state that it's done in accordance with the plan.
Yeah.
We can do a
As-built,
partial
right.
release, and then the growing season will do the certificate of compliance. It's
Yeah.
just not,
Okay, that makes sense.
thank you. We'll look for a motion for a continuance.
I'll make a motion to continue 253 Mendon Road to August 6th at
6:20 PM.
6:20.
Second?
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Robin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
Jamie, aye.
And Mike says aye.
Great.
See
Thank you
you
very much.
next meeting. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Next up is 17 Waters Road. I'll have to read this one in. This is a new one. So, in accordance with the provisions of Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act, and the Sutton Bylaw, 12, Wetlands Protection, the Conservation Commission will hold a hearing to review a request for determination submitted by John Goss, Sutton, Mass. The hearing will be held on Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025, at 6:20 PM. The project consists of filling in a steep slope along the edge of my driveway, which is 100 feet from the creek at 117 Waters Road. Good evening.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
How you doing?
You're
100 feet away. Why are you filing?
Well, I wanted to slope, like, right now, if the driveway's here, there's a steep slope and then it gets flat.
Yep.
Oh, there's a picture. Okay. So, like, right around where the red marker is 100 feet, and I wanted to, if this is the slope and this is the flat part, I wanted to put some dirt in that kind of makes it more gradual, because when you can't tell how steep it is there, but when I mow the lawn, it's like really steep, and it'd be nice if it wasn't so steep. So I figured I'd ask permission if I could.
Good job.
Okay.
Brandon, do you have any comments?
No, this is pretty straightforward. I just thank him for coming in here and doing it the right way. Four requests were checked off on the determination. The first is whether the area depicted on the plan or maps, this area is subject to the Wetlands Protection Act. There is a perennial stream within 200 feet, right? But this project here would comply with the riverfront area standards. It's very minor. Then the next one is whether the boundaries of the resource areas depicted on the plans or maps are accurately delineated. This wetland was not delineated, so I would recommend just removing that one. We won't, because you usually have
Okay.
to have a wetland professional do flagging, which wasn't done in this case because it's a pretty minor kind of project.
Okay.
So I recommend just removing that one. And whether the activities depicted on the plans is subject to the Wetlands Protection Act, which is, the answer is yes. And whether-
Recording in progress.
And whether the activities are subject to any municipal wetlands bylaw or ordinance, and the answer to that is yes. So my recommendation on this one would be a negative determination.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody from the board would like to speak? Go ahead, James.
There's another, there's a hand drawing.
Yes.
I thought that was just a really good hand.
All I had to
there
do
it
was just scroll down.
So is the area, the 60 by 16 foot, is that the limit of your work, or are you going to grade all the way down to the stream?
Oh, definitely not all the way down to the stream. 16 feet is, well, since I'm here, could I go to 20?
I just want to know what it is, and
Yeah, it's basically that. It's 16 feet. It'd be nice if it were 20, but yeah, I'm not, definitely, I'll be, I mean, if I went to 20, I'd still be, 80 feet away from the stream.
okay. Just one thing, given the slope, and, because it slopes down to the,
Yeah.
if, microphone problems.
Big mics.
If, a silt fence, right, until it gets stabilized, right? If,
Yep.
10 feet out from the limit of work, if you were to put in a silt fence and install it correctly, and
Got it.
once the grass grows, you can get it down, but until that time, it would be nice if the unstabilized soil didn't make its way into the river.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Jared?
Yeah, no comment.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
Anybody in the audience want to speak? Anybody on Zoom? So let's say this, just so it's clear, just put the fence at 20 feet, use that as your limited disturbance and feather it into that. It's a
You
pretty
got it.
straight line. That way you won't go beyond 20 feet, and I think that'll help you to do it right.
Thank you.
So
Easy peasy.
if I may, Mr. Chairman, my recommendation for a motion would be to allow the limited disturbance at 20 feet instead of 16, and you condition a silt fence.
We call it 80 feet from edge of bank, because the river's very well distreamed, so he can just come up 80 feet, put his erosion in it.
That 80 feet, though, that's just estimating, right? He has 16 feet from the driveway, which I think was much more accurate. So I would recommend going 20 feet from the edge of the driveway as opposed to 80 feet from the stream, because no measurements have been pulled.
Yep, understood, yep.
Okay.
So just go 20 feet off your driveway.
You got it.
A silt fence added around.
It is a good slope down to there, so put a wattle and stake it down and just, because that way you won't have to clean it up if something happens, it'll stay
You got
in
it.
that 20 feet.
Okay.
All right, looking for a motion to close the public hearing.
I make a motion to close the public hearing on 17 Waters Road.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Robin?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
Jamie?
All right.
And I also vote aye.
I make a motion to issue a negative determination with the limit of disturbance, 20 feet for the limit, instead of 16, and to also install a silt fence.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Robin?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
James?
All right.
And I also, Mike, vote aye. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good night. Next, I will have to recuse myself on this next project, and
You're in charge.
Tim will take that over.
All right, next up is Mike's recused. It's a public hearing continuation for 82 Dodge Hill Road. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Good evening, Rauf Makaris with Alpha Omega Engineering. Brenda, can you bring it on the screen?
Yeah, just give me a second here. go. Okay, that's that one, or I'll get this one going. Oops. And, okay, there's that one.
Because he texted me, that's
And we also have this one.
So just a quick review on what happened last time. We did get an easement from our neighbor just to keep the driveway outside the buffer zone, away from the wetland as far as we can. And we also, I had a meeting with James on the site. That was one of the comments we had last meeting, that James wanted to see the wetland and the site because he never been there. I think I answered all his concerns. The issue about the septic location, if we move the septic much farther, we're gonna have to cut more trees, and that's why we picked that location next to the driveway, so we can use the driveway grading for the septic also. Other than that, most of the driveway and the house are outside the 100-foot buffer. Only a couple 100 feet of the driveway in the buffer, and a very small section of the house. The rest is outside, and we're still doing drainage for everything.
Okay. Brandon, any comments?
The issues last time, the neighbors to the north were very concerned about, because of the development and the cutting of trees and the more potential for runoff, that there could be even more water going onto their properties. And I remember you and Jamie saying that you wanted to go there to see it for yourself. I don't think did you end up going to?
I did go, yeah.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
Yeah, I went on my own.
So I guess that, as far as the plan goes, I don't have any more comments. I just wanted to know what you two thought, and if you have any further concerns.
And maybe Raouf, for the record, if you can talk a little bit about your phasing plan and some of the features of the roadway that are going to keep this from happening, I'd appreciate it. But after Raouf took me to the site, I felt very comfortable that he's done what he could to address the issues that we had raised at our last meeting.
Okay.
The driveway, we're keeping the driveway as far as we can. We stay outside the buffer zone as much as we can. We're doing some drainage for the driveway and also for the house and the future barn. We're doing infiltration system for that, so it's completely outside the buffer zone, but we still doing infiltration to help improve the site.
Yeah, I think my biggest concern is the construction phase. It's usually when we have the most problems. We have a phasing schedule.
Yeah, it is, the drive will be done first with the drainage for the driveway, and then we'll start working on the house. And I think the contractor who's handling the project, we've been doing work in this town, and we never had a problem with him.
Well, I'm good.
Yeah, Jared, anything?
I'm all set.
Anybody in the public have any comments, want to come forward? Yeah, just come forward to the microphone, please, and give your name for the record.
32 Wachusett Drive.
Your first name again, please?
Excuse me?
First name again?
Dennis.
Thank you.
Just in the infiltration trench, if it doesn't work and I have problems with water coming into my perimeter drain and whatnot, what's my recourse into my foundation drain? And who's going to maintain the infiltration trench where it clogs up with leaves and everything else?
The trench will be wrapped in filter fabric and stones wrapped in filter fabric, so it should stay clean.
But the leaves and stuff from the
I
trees?
We can...
This will be the homeowner maintaining that, but when it's wrapped in filter fabric, you don't get any silt in the stone trench.
We can condition it to be maintained in perpetuity.
You could.
Right? If we
The
want,
responsibility of the homeowner.
yeah. It will be on the homeowner, yeah, at that point.
You can condition it, like an operation and maintenance plan that you do for a larger project. You can just do it for the small project that, I don't know, some kind of language on maintaining the infiltration trench. And I'm looking at you, Jared.
Yeah, no, I know.
Any
Yeah, short of
recommendations?
how formal do you want to get with it? Do you want them to be submitting like an inspection report or something, you know, on
Yeah, I
a
know.
recurring
I
basis,
think
but,
That's the tough part. I mean,
yeah.
I think, here's my recommendation, is that there should be some kind of in perpetuity condition regarding the maintenance of the infiltration trench. Not so much that reporting is required, but if there is a problem, that condition can then be referenced in case enforcement action is necessary. You can say, aha, look, there was an in perpetuity condition, it wasn't maintained, you now need to fix it, or face enforcement action, fines, et cetera, et cetera.
So with the property sells to another person, like, is that going to have to be put into their language as well?
No, the order of conditions goes with the property, not the owner. So as the property exchanged hands, it doesn't stay with the person who moves to another state. It stays with that property.
Right.
And whoever owns it.
Okay, but so like on the real estate side of it, because that's where my brain is, that means that they need to be made aware of those things.
Well, they're supposed to, it never happens, though.
Yeah, no, I noticed.
Yeah, Rose
That's true.
smiling,
Yeah, that's true.
No, I think we all know that. I don't mean to, I'm not making light of it, but I think that answers the question. If we condition that, then we can issue enforcement order in the future if there is a problem. Am I saying that correctly? That's what
Yeah,
you just
if
said.
there's ever any need to compel
Yeah.
someone in the future to do the maintenance or the fix, the Conservation Commission will have more controlling authority to make them, to compel them to do so, because it was it's now an in perpetuity condition from an old permit.
So if we were to make the condition that the homeowner shall remove leaf and debris from infiltration trench as necessary in perpetuity, that would accomplish that.
Can we just say maintain it?
Maintain good working order, you know?
Yeah.
Maintaining good
Yeah.
working
Or
order,
being
including
specific
but.
about what it is.
Yeah, including but not limited to removal of leaves,
Sediment, whatever.
sediment, et cetera, et cetera.
I'd be okay with that.
I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, likewise.
Go ahead.
I was just wondering about the, if my foundation drain takes on more water than it normally does, if it surcharges from introducing surface water into the ground, what's my recourse there? You know? Because I already have, when they did 90 Dodge Hill Road, you did a septic system, I started getting water continuously even through the summertime.
I can field this one.
Go ahead.
The answer ultimately, Mr. Cody, is that it'll end up being a civil matter. The Conservation Commission is here to protect the wetlands for the public interests, but if say your basement sump pump is not operating and you have damage to your basement because of this, you're going to have to bring that forward as a civil suit.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yeah.
All right.
And part of that civil suit, may be from the homeowner and it may be the designer, because you have a claim that the design was incorrect and you would hire then your own experts to refute the engineer, and the Conservation Commission, yes, approved it, but the Conservation Commission's approval is based on a professional engineer's stamp, which means a lot, and they're the ones who are ultimately, showing responsibility for the design.
Okay. One other question. How close will the driveway be to my property line?
Actually, we got an easement from one of our neighbors to keep the driveway much farther from the wetland and your properties.
Have footage or anything?
It's, I would say, like maybe 60 feet away from the lot line.
Okay. I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any comments? Entertain a motion.
Close the public
close.
hearing. I make a motion to close the public hearing for 82 Dodge Hill Road.
Second.
Motion to close the public hearing. Robin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
And I, Tim Thompson, vote aye.
I make a motion to issue an order of conditions for 82 Dodge Hill Road with a special condition for maintaining in good working order the infiltration trench, including leaves and debris.
In perpetuity?
In perpetuity, sorry, I forgot that one word.
Second it?
All right, motion to issue an order of conditions. Robin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
And I, Tim Thompson, vote aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is this one you just,
No, that's 17 Waters, I think.
Oh, whoops, I didn't see them stacking up.
all right, so we are through 82, so it's beyond 6:30. So we now have a public hearing for 135 Dodge Hill Road. Is there anybody here tonight?
Yes.
This is a new, it's a new one, I think.
It's a new one, so I have to read this in. In accordance with the provisions of Mass General, Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act, and the Sutton Bylaw 12, Wetlands Protection, the Conservation Commission will hold a hearing to review a notice of intent submitted by Anthony Raymond, Sutton, Mass. The hearing will be held on Wednesday, July 9th, 2025, at 6:20 p.m. The project consists of a single-family home with associated grading and septic system at 135 Dodge Hill Road. Thank you.
Good evening, Rauf Mankaris with Alpha Omega Engineering, and I have the client with me. Brendan, if you can bring it up.
Oh, yeah, I got it right here. That's for Jamie. Share.
Skip it. Okay.
So this was approved about 4 years ago by for a different house, different client. The wetland in the last 4 years changed a little bit. We got more wetlands. I did show it to Brandon before I submit, and he did walk the wetland, and we had to move some flags. We did some changes on the site, but the house is surrounded by wetland from everywhere. We have a different shaped house. It's a little bit larger than what was approved about 4 years ago. It's a ranch. My client has to do a ranch because of his parents. He needs someone with elderly people to get access to the house. So it's a little bit larger, but we're still keeping the house as far as we can from the wetland. We're doing also drainage infiltration for the roof runoff. The septic is as far as we can have it. It's a 3-bedroom house. Septic design, this is the minimum we can have for the septic. I think we are meeting everything with nothing in the 25-foot buffer. And this is the smallest we can fit on this property. And again, it was approved about 4 years ago, similar design.
Okay, thank you very much. Brandon?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a project that was previously approved by the Conservation Commission, but the order of conditions expired, so they've had to reapply. But that said, the design is a bit different. This is a kind of an odd-shaped house, if I will say so myself, but that's really none of my business. You'll notice the flags 8R, 9R, and 10R in the back are my changes. The light gray is where the line was, and I didn't agree with it. So I had them bring it slightly uphill. They were still able to make a viable design. What I want to point out is that under the last commission, because this site is completely forested and all but this little triangle right here is in the 100-foot aura, the previous Conservation Commission said, well, you know, you're going to be taking down a lot of trees. You're going to be affecting wildlife habitat, water quality, et cetera, the public interest. What kind of mitigation do you propose? And it's kind of tough to do that when, you know, you're already in a pretty, you know, high-quality forest here. At the time, all this property was part of the same development or lot as Stockwell Farmway, if you remember that one, and also owned by the same family that owns the lot down by Central Turnpike, and there was a house built there where the old Stockwell Farm barn used to be. Bill would know, this was his family's land. Where the house is down by the Stockwell Farm barn, there was a leaking underground storage tank, which the family still does reporting on to this day. And the Conservation Commission decided that the cleanup of that leaking underground storage tank down the street, which was all owned by the same family, same land, same subdivision, was ample enough to offset any adverse impact to the public interest associated with this AWRA. So if you have any questions about mitigation, that was already predetermined in the last submission, and I would presume that the same logic applies here, if you have any questions about, impacts. Because I made a note for myself that says, "It is important to note that mitigation in the aura has already been done. Read the old special conditions for details." So they've done everything I've asked for, and I give it back to you if you have any questions or concerns.
Any of the members would like to speak of this project?
In terms of mitigation, it would be for the tree removal, compensating for the tree removal, given the current lot. Plantings and stuff like that, there really aren't any places to put them other than
No, and the
some
commission is...
shrubs and maybe, but, I mean, there's no meaningful open areas where, at least from my drive-by, that you could really.
Right, and that was part of the problem, is because, the commission already has determined, in past commissions anyway, that plantings in an already existing forest is duplicative and does not add much, if any, value. So what else can you do? Well, there was no junk in here to clean up, there's no invasive species, it's a good quality forest in here. So what could they do? And that's when the idea was brought up, well, it's all owned by the historic Stockwell family, which owns the lot down the street where we did this major and expensive cleanup of, I don't know if it was diesel or what, from the old barn, which they still do monitoring on today. And the commission accepted that. Now, that said, this is a brand-new, we call de novo review, so you're not necessarily held to that. That's the history.
I'm a history fan, so I'll go with the history, right? I really don't think that there's anything that we could effectively do to compensate for the tree removal. And I think that the limited disturbance and the setbacks from the wetlands are, given the conditions of the lot, are probably I can't think of a way you could modify the plan to improve it.
I do
We
have a
tried.
question.
Go ahead.
Through the chair, I mean, I'm looking at the shape of the house and where it is. Could you change it a bit and pull everything,
It's a one-floor house for the elderly people, so we cannot do a second floor or make it smaller.
And it's a H shape because, so the left side, the smaller side, that's like the kitchen, living, dining room area. So that way it's separate from the bedroom area. So we have some sense of privacy, even though it's only a 3-bedroom house, So that center of the H, you could say, acts as like a breezeway to help separate the two spaces.
Anybody else?
Through
Yeah,
the
John,
chair,
go ahead.
well, I guess just raising the question, the backyard, it looks like it's going to be tight up against the proposed wood line. Is need for any sort of monumentation here, just to kind of, there's no, that doesn't creep towards the wetland at all, just to kind of.
We've been doing boulders. We kind of
Boulders.
shied away from the signs just
Yeah,
because.
okay.
Boulders.
There is a retaining wall, actually.
Is there,
There's a retaining wall? at
Yes.
the
okay.
Limited disturbance?
Yes.
Is there details?
There should be a retaining wall in the back around.
you can see it in plan view, right? It's,
Yeah, I can see it now.
Yep,
Oh, is that so no grading goes outside that?
yes, exactly. And it's for, to help with infiltration. So we're raising the ground so we can have an infiltration system.
How high is the wall?
Couple feet.
Couple of feet?
Yeah.
That would probably be a deterrent enough then.
So the poles should be fixed into the wall, so they can't be removed?
Sure.
Well,
They can epoxy a pole into the, what are you gonna use, like a large block, 2-footer?
Sure.
They have the big block concrete.
Sure.
No one's gonna see the backside.
Sure.
How, 50 feet is what you have the signs at?
We have the signs on the wetland itself,
They're on
on the wetland buffer, on all the wetland lines, you see? Because that was the commission requested before.
Like, no,
The
you're not supposed to
disturbance,
go,
right.
like on that wall, it's.
And then you have the retaining wall, which is gonna be the end of the limit of work, so I think that's gonna be very
I'll leave it up to
obvious
you
for the
guys.
homeowner.
It's a tough one, because, I'm sorry, through the chair.
No, okay, yeah.
It's a tough one, because it's tight, and I hate signs. I mean, I wouldn't want to look out my window and see signs at the wall, so.
Leave them on the wetland line?
And it relies on the homeowner to do the right thing also, you know.
is, right now where you have the limited disturbance indicated, given the fact that it's a reasonably mature forest, is that realistic?
Should be, yeah. We have enough room for a small backyard and just he's gonna have to
But
trim
in
the
terms of the canopy and the size of the trees and
Yes.
is the homeowner going to be back when the house is built, asking us to push it back 10 feet?
Yeah, that's a good question, because that's what always happened, and there's pine trees here.
Right.
You know, pine trees get to be 80 feet tall and they're snapping, and the next thing you know, we have a couple with a young family saying, this is gonna kill my child in his nursery in the middle of the night. And then the commission is pretty much forced into it.
So what we're saying is there trees beyond the limit of disturbance that you think needs to come down? Now's the time to talk about it.
Well,
It's not a no, it's just we want to understand it, so it's, we'd rather we understand the project and there's no large trees back there, there's nothing that,
I walked yesterday with the guy that would be cutting my trees, just gonna go through it, and everything that there's a couple, I think there's 2 giant pines towards the back, they are inside of that boundary, so that would be.
they were inside?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Okay.
as long as you feel safe.
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we can, in terms of the location of the signage, maybe we can put the signs 10 feet off the retaining wall so that they're kind of not as in your face as, there's a lot of room between the edge of wetland and the retaining wall, which could, you know what
So
I'm
we've had a
saying?
lot of discussion, and when we do signs now, we are putting them along the wetland line, just, we thought it would have a better chance to survive, because the minute you put them in a yard, they disappear. So if you at least mark the boundary, people can see it. I'm just saying, what we've done, as we shied away from signs on limited disturbance, we went to edge of wetland for a while. Then we did some like far corners, just trying to get things that would stay.
I agree, yeah.
So maybe, and I think Raouf has placed them along the wetland line from past filings where we have kind of been all over the place with signage. We don't do it, sometimes we do it. This is probably one where, like you said, I think the plan as far as that goes would probably do the best job of surviving longevity of staying there on the wetland line. Because it's a little bit wooded, you're not supposed to cut the trees, it's not so in your face, but if you go walking all around, we would hope you wouldn't miss them.
Yep.
And you're here tonight, so any year if you go and do it, we're not gonna have
For what it's
mercy.
worth, this is our forever home too. That's also why we're doing a single-story house, so like we can grow old here. So I don't see us selling it and then having other people trying to change these lines.
You guys good?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Is there anybody from the audience that would like to speak about this project? Or on Zoom? Is there anything we would want to add? I think we're good.
Are we talking about the mitigation? Did we,
I guess it had been done previously, and I know that oil tank, I remember Bill talking about it, the family removed an oil tank. So what he was saying,
oh, so it was done?
I believe so.
It has already been done.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
I thought the
all
work
right.
was all.
Now there's just monitoring wells that have to be
I
reported.
got
on.
you. All
So-
right, I misunderstood.
No, no.
That's fine.
So I think that was a pretty good mitigation.
Yeah,
in the-
okay.
yeah.
All right.
Look for a motion to close the public
I'll-
hearing.
Make a motion to close the public hearing for 135 Dodge Hill Road.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Robin?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
And I also, aye.
And I'll make a motion to issue an order of conditions for 135 Dodge Hill Road.
Robin?
Aye.
Tim?
Robin.
Oh,
Second.
second, Robin seconded. I have a motion and a second.
Signage or anything like that?
Well, I think
Oh.
just according
Well-
to, they're already there.
They were already on the plan.
Good.
So we really, yeah.
Yeah,
So I have a motion and a second. Robin?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
And I also vote aye.
Thank
Who's
you.
second again?
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you, Robin.
Motion and second.
Just practicing ayes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
So next at 6:35, this is a new one, so we have to read it in. So we have 112 Burbank Road. In accordance with the provisions of the Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act, and the Sutton Bylaw, 12, Wetlands Protection. The Conservation Commission will hold a hearing to review a notice of intent submitted by James Lenahan, Sutton, Mass. The hearing will be held on Wednesday, July 9th, 2025, at 6:25 PM. The project consists of alteration, tree cutting, and restoration wetland buffer zone at 112 Burbank Road. Good
Mr.
evening.
Chairman, I need to recuse myself.
Oh, thank you. Yep. Good evening.
Good evening.
The
I'm Norman
record.
Hill, this is Jim Lanahan. So, on an update for 112, you had issued an enforcement order. He had cut down some trees in the buffer zone. So, in addition, you requested that a survey be done, that siltations be moved and lengthened, and that 20 trees be planted. So, I can tell you that, and that a notice of intent be filed after the fact. So we filed a notice of intent. We staked out where the 20 trees should go. We did a plan to show where the 20 trees should go. He has installed those 20 trees. He has brought the siltation control up, so it's 100 feet away from the wetland. He's extended it left and right. So I believe he's done everything that you had requested. I've inspected it, and everything's doing well right now. So it looks great down below that siltation controlled area.
Is that everything?
Let me bring it up.
Brandon?
Yep. Here we go. So, I have been to the site, I've looked at it. The trees are in, the trees are large trees. I was there, a couple of weeks ago, and they were looking a bit stressed, so I highly recommend watering them on a regular basis during this hot summer time. I counted the trees that were on the plan, and it's all been planted according to plan as it's supposed to be. The silt fence line, I presume, is about at the 100-foot mark. There's still a lot of silt fence in a bunch of different places, down gradient of the trees, some in the middle of the trees. I'd like to get verification that the upper erosion control line is the limit of work, and it's also at least 100 feet away from the bordering vegetated wetland.
Yes, that highest siltation is just over 100 feet from the line of BBW. He has watered the trees. I don't know how many times you've watered them. I know I saw once or twice.
Lot.
Yeah, so he's been watering the trees regularly. Nothing has died yet.
No, they're doing well.
Nothing has died.
That existing line in the middle, I thought you had mentioned leaving it in place just because it was already there. That's why I didn't take it out.
That's fine. If there's a silt fence already up and it's serving a purpose,
Right.
by all means, keep it up until things are completely stable. It's that upper line, I want to just get confirmation from the engineer, and he just given testimony that that is indeed at least 100 feet away from the BBW.
Yes.
Everyone good? Anybody from the board would like to speak?
I don't have a comment right now, so I'm just kind of reviewing this plan. Brandon, I guess for clarification through the chair, the upper, that red erosion control line, is that what you're asking for confirmation?
Yeah, this one right here, I want to confirm, because there's this line here on the
Oh.
plan, and then there's a line in the field. So let me show you
Alright.
let me show you my last set of pictures here. Just so you
You
can.
also suggested putting boulders along that line to delineate it for permanent future.
Yes, I do recommend that. Thank you for reminding me.
And along there, for-
It's on
most
the
of it
plan.
has it, but not
It's on the
the
plan.
bottom part yet.
Did you get it done?
The upper part has it, the bottom part hasn't been over there yet, but they will. I have lots of rocks.
So there you go.
Those few that you
Should
see
we clean up all
stragglers
the
there.
rest of the erosion control, so like while we have growing season, I mean, you know, leave the 100-foot, the limited disturbance, and clean up in the middle? I hate to see them rip it all out, and then there's disturbance, and you're doing it, it wouldn't be that hard to clean it up in the middle, let it all grow in, leave the back one and the front one?
That's fine.
It's the ugliest stuff, I hate looking at it. I just mean, it look better for the,
If it's serving if you don't think it
we can leave it to
has
his
a
discretion.
necessary
Let's do
serve.
this.
What's
If
that?
you think it's not gonna, it's stable, clean it up. It'll look better. If you wanna leave it because you think it's doing something, leave it. Ultimately, it's all gonna be gone anyways, right?
So it's this upper silt fence line that I wanted to confirm corresponds with the line that's on the plan, and that it's all at least 100 feet away from the VVW.
That's all
Because,
correct, that's all correct.
because everything on the left side of this is going to have to be allowed to grow in naturally. On the right side, go ahead, use it as lawn, whatever. But on the left side, this is going to be left in a natural condition.
Yep. The rocks will be there to delineate that for perpetuity.
So I guess some of the things tonight, we will release the enforcement order. Now we have an NOI, so I think we would do a motion to, how would we, Brandon?
You can vote to release.
Because we want to get rid of the enforcement, and now we have an NOI to
Right, so
follow up.
just someone
So
make
there's no
a
enforcement.
motion to release the enforcement order.
Okay, so a motion, and is there anybody from the public that'd like to speak on this? Is there anybody from Zoom?
I make a motion to release the enforcement order on 112 Burbank Road.
Second.
Robin?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
And I, Mike, vote aye.
Who was the second on that? Tim?
I was.
So now we'll need a motion to approve the,
This is a public
Close the
hearing.
public
oh, close the
hearing.
public hearing, yep.
I make a motion to close the public hearing on 112 Burbank Road.
I'll second it.
Robin?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
Mike? Aye. Motion.
Order of conditions?
I would note that I recommend that in your motion that there be at least, how many years did you propose, Norm? 2 or 3 years of year-end?
We had said
Growing
3, but I
season.
think 2. The trees look good. They got them in right.
At least 2 years of what?
Do 2 years of
2
monitoring.
years of monitoring, so 2 end-of-growing season monitoring reports, and are you okay with just end of season, which would be like October? Do you want,
Let's call this a growing season. You got them in right away. The fall, like now it's,
okay,
so if they
So
make
are
it this
you-
year and they make it through all next year, say the fall of next year, he could close it out.
are you okay with just fall, or do you want spring and fall?
So next year would be 2026. Let's say October, the leaves are off, November 1st.
By November 1st. of
Because
next
that,
year.
I mean, if it makes it this year, all winter, through the spring, through the summer, and
Yeah.
through the whole fall, I would say the chances of everything surviving.
So we only need a maintaining report by
Until November.
November 1st of next year.
So that's like a year and a,
Change.
That's fine.
instead of saying, it's 2 growing cycles or what?
Yeah.
Instead of, because 2 years could be,
I think what Brandon was asking is, did we want 2? But I think that we're fine with just the 1.
well, let's just say that date, and then
Just
there's no,
fall,
when you do your motion, do November,
First.
or December, yeah, November 1st of 2026.
Yeah.
Yep. And then then they can get their release of their, then the lot will have no more. They can come in front of us and just be done with it.
All right, so I make a motion, to issue an order of conditions for 112 Burbank Road with the condition that there is a two-year monitoring report that will be submitted to the Conservation Committee by November 1st, 2026.
Second.
Robin?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
And I, Mike, vote aye. All right, thank you. So,
Second.
next would be
I did. Thank you.
Tim?
I can't write fast
the
enough.
discussion. So it's on the agenda for 126 Burbank Road, which is under enforcement, so we're gonna have a discussion. So Norman, tell us where we're at with 126 Burbank.
So our surveyors went out there and surveyed the location of all the work that had been done or in process. And we noticed two things that have changed from the original approved plan. One is the actual location of the common driveway through the wetland. That has been built some 5 to 9 feet away from the stone wall. As you walk in, there's a stone wall on your left-hand side, and it was proposed to have that common driveway go right in, right next to that stone wall. When he went to build it, he encountered some large boulders and some large trees, and there weren't trees further to the right, so he thought if I just move that common driveway 5 to 9 feet to the right. So that's what he did. So I don't know if there's ever been a vote to approve that. I think it's a minor field revision. I mean, it's the same square footage of alteration, whether it's here or here, he's altering the same square footage of wetlands. Over here, he has to rip out another 4 trees. Over here, he can avoid those 4 trees. He made a field decision to save the 4 trees, and that's one change. The other change we noticed is that the plan called for 2 24-inch culverts to go under at a specific station. Rather than install them at that station, he installed them at the low point in the wetland. So I can understand why he did it. It made common sense. Good field decision. Let's put the culverts where the wetland is the lowest, so it'll flow through these pipes as needed. So those are the 2 field changes he made. I don't know if this board was aware of those changes, but we would ask the board to vote to approve those 2 field changes, and then he could proceed. Now, the big thing going on right now is the replication area has been started, but he received a cease and desist. He would very much like to go in and get that replication area completed. You recall there are almost 5,000 square feet of wetlands altered here, so he's got to replicate that area. So he's gone in there, went in there before the enforcement order was issued, the cease and desist was issued, and he took out most of the topsoil. He dropped it in elevation about a foot, but at that time, there were actually puddles of water. Not a good time to be doing a replication area. Now it's drying out. Now it's an excellent time to do the replication area because the water table's going down. So he could go in there, take out another 1.5 feet or so of soil, and then put in the hydric soil and plant the vegetation. So those are the 3 things we're asking for tonight. Approval of those 2 minor field changes and to rescind the stop work order.
Thank you. Brandon?
To the point of the minor field change, here's how I feel about it. Mr. Lenahan made an adjustment in the field without following the special condition that whatever changes, however minor, must be requested to the commission in writing. He made that decision unilaterally, and now we're here. And it's caused a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth. Allowing fill in a bordering vegetated wetland is about the most important thing that this Conservation Commission oversees and allows in conditions and permits. And by moving the driveway, the road, 5 to 10 feet shifted to the south, even if in the end the amount of fill is a wash, I would not recommend approving that as a minor field change. In fact, I would recommend that if you're going to allow it, that this is more on par, not just with an amendment, but the requirement for a new notice of intent. That's my opinion and my recommendation to you. The next point has to do with the amount of fill. Alpha Omega said in their plan is about 4,300 square feet. Under the Wetlands Protection Act, there's what we call the 5,000 square foot rule. Once you exceed 5,000 square feet, you must fall into what's called the limited projects categories. Like, for example, they do not allow the construction of a house over 5,000 square feet. It's just, you can't do that. There are only limited circumstances in which they will allow you to fill in more than 5,000 square feet. That's why they call it the limited projects section or provision. One of them is to allow a driveway or a roadway of minimum acceptable width to the planning board to go from point A to point B when there's no other means of ingress or egress. This project qualified for that, right? So they were allowed to get it, but then they were also under 5,000 square feet. I received a letter from land planning stating that there's some kind of discrepancy between their calculation of square footage and Alpha Omega's calculation of square footage of BVW fill, which is something that I would really like to get to the bottom of and get clarified before any decision is made, because it's very confusing, and now we have a new engineer of record, so I'd just like to get that all cleared up, because I am very concerned that because of the switch in the location of the road, I'm not entirely sure that we didn't go over 5,000 square feet inadvertently. And if that's the case, then it changes the whole ball game. Those are my two biggest concerns. Regarding the wetland replication area, I think that if the other concerns of the commission can be addressed adequately, then there's no reason to stop the applicant from finishing that. Those are the three big ticket items. So I'll leave it, I'll hand it back to you for now.
At the last meeting, we just didn't get it on the agenda, and we had a field report with some deficiencies that you wanted corrected. Did you get a chance to talk with Jim?
I have not. There are some minor erosion control deficiencies, you know, where the silt fence is flapping on the bottom. The silt fences weren't adequately overlapped, and there's a little gap between, which is really not something you should do, but those are things that I think that I can get resolved with Mr. Lenahan pretty quickly.
So there was the field report to address, and then there was the $5,000 to the
Correct, yes. So this is a project
And then we wanted him
that
to
falls
get that
under that category of consulting fees. There's a caveat at the bottom of the consulting fee schedule that reads that, you know, basically, to summarize, if there are issues and it's justifiable, then the conservation consultant may request additional funds. And I think, tell me if you're wrong, this is one of them. And I've requested, because of how extensive this is, I've requested an additional $5,000 in funds.
So during the week, you know, me and Bill had discussions, so we thought as long as he addressed the field report, got the erosion control up to speed, and the $5,000 was paid, I think that's what we've been saying consistently, he could get working on the reclamation area only. Because we all agree, this is the time to get it done.
Yep.
So we did not want to stop that work from happening. So, we all agree. I think we should make it clear that we want to get the replication done now. Just fix the minor deficiencies, you'll go over them with Jim.
Yes. Or Rick, who was in the audience tonight, paying attention as well, to do that.
And then has the $5,000 been paid? So then start the reclamation immediately. You know, like just schedule, I think you just went through it on the other lot, so just follow the same protocol.
We need a motion to lift the cease and desist.
Well, let's wait.
Oh, sorry.
Any discussion?
Do we have a plan, like a red line plan or anything showing the deviation in the alignment of the road, or?
We have. Mr. Hill sent.
Can I
us.
just say one quick thing?
Yeah.
That
Yes.
5,000 square foot number that is so important. Land planning did survey that, and it was under 5,000. Land planning is the third person to survey that, and all three surveys said it was under 5,000 square feet. Ralph did it, Brandon did it, and Norm did it. Just saying.
We'll
So I don't know
talk,
where
we'll
the-
discuss, there's a lot to discuss, we'll discuss.
That, but it's been checked by three different people with surveys that said it was
Finish
under
the
5,000 square
discussion.
feet.
Did you guys bring up the plan? I think we should bring up the
Well, I
plan. So
did,
the
and
discussion
I-
we have to have.
I did perform.
So he's asking for 2 minor field changes, which would be leaving the road not as designed, which there's no design, we were just, the other thing is we're setting precedents that you don't have to follow a plan. And then the third thing is, has there been any inspections? So Norman so there's a whole road built, and if we look at the plan, there's a 4-foot retaining wall that goes to 3 feet, starts at 4 feet. There's a retaining wall that starts at 4 feet and goes 3 feet that has to be on stable, compacted gravel with all topsoil removed. And then there's an infiltration trench that we just went through that has to be dug down, top and sub. It has to have, it says on the plan to have septic sand and then 3 feet of crushed stone and a whole drainage. So my question is if you leave the road where it is now, how are we going to go about building this road? We have to build retaining walls, we have to put infiltration trenches, it all has to be dug out. I've looked at the plan now as if I had to do it. I've talked with the building commissioner, they have some concerns. It's also a retreat route, so it's under, it has to be a certain width, it has to be paved. It's access for more than one home, emergency vehicle. So I have a lot of concerns about what I see being built and the quality of what's there right now. My recommendation would be, start on the far left side, dig out your retaining wall, have a bottom inspection. Another thing that the building commissioner thought would be a good idea, and I threw some ideas at him, is on a project this large with a roadway that's gonna be serving 2 homes, emergency vehicles, that Graves Engineering do the inspections. That we would use a third-party engineer to make sure that the retaining walls sit on compacted gravel, topsoil was removed, the infiltration trenches have been installed correctly, because there's a lot of liability to this road. There really is. It's a really long road, it goes really far into the woods. My opinion would be, we can't issue minor field changes to let somebody not follow a plan, especially when you look at the severity. He's not providing any, so the pipes are crooked, they're not square to the walls, they have to be terminated through these retaining walls. The more that you were to look at the plan, it's a really vast roadway through a resource area that's gonna serve more than 2 houses. And also the building commissioner thought, and it was in his original approval, the roadway would have to be completed and base coated before any building permits. And John would work with us to make sure. Those were kind of his thoughts that I discussed with him. That we get Graves Engineering to do third-party inspections. Brandon would do his wetland inspections, wetland line. But as far as any engineering on the road, retaining walls, so that we could assure the public and the future owners of this property that that roadway was built correctly. Yeah. So those are the things that we have to make clear. I wouldn't approve minor field changes. That, like Brandon, they'd have to start all over again. The project's too far along. You can't say minor field changes now, in my opinion. So those are the things we need to address and look at and understand in the plan, is these details for the retaining walls, and it's a really complex. I think, Jared, you started picking up on it a long time ago at the first meeting. Why don't we go to the approved plan? So let's talk about the 5,000 square feet, because I have a lot of time into it. If he's to go back on track and put the road where it's supposed to be, he's gonna be over 5,000 square feet. So the only reason this project isn't over 5,000 right now is because the road's in the wrong spot. So my thought was, let's take advantage of it. Let's let him utilize the extra area. It'll help him to get back on track, put the road where it belongs. And then when he's all done, whatever he went over where he wasn't supposed to be, it shouldn't be hard to restore it. It's probably a few trees, the hydric soil's all there. he could use that extra area to his advantage. Because to, Jared, you understand construction, what do you think it's gonna take to build retaining walls that are very tight, tall, there'll be a lot of pressure? Cement trucks, a fire truck.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with all of that. I mean,
Jared, when we did a site inspection, the road was like, what we all, myself, Brandon, that it was on hydric soil. Like, I don't think anything had been removed. And if it has there been any, Norman, have you inspected any of the bottom of anything?
I have not done any
So
inspections
you
of what
wouldn't
was
be able to
excavated.
assure the commission that these retaining walls and these infiltrator trenches and
Nothing's been built yet because I had to stop. So all of that will proceed just like the plan that you already approved. So I'm going to
Okay.
do it like it was on the plan that you already looked at, that you already approved. I'm going to build it like that, just lateral. I have room on both sides, just like I did, because the whole thing shifted. So I will do it just like the plan shows, just that you already approved, just kicked over a little bit.
Mike, one of the things I see lacking is stakeout, proper stakeout. We should have stakes every 25 feet, 5 feet off.
so we assumed that he was
Edge on.
working with an engineer, that everything was laid out.
I don't see any signs of any stakeout work.
So the discussions I've had with the building commissioner and the chairman of the board is that he's got to follow the plan. I think we've said that all along. There's no room to not follow the plan. He could take advantage of we could be lenient and let him use that extra disturbed area, let him get back on track, see where we're at after the road's built, and then come with a restoration plan for wherever he went outside limit of disturbance. And then we have a viable plan and have Graves Engineering do the engineering inspections.
I agree, I guess I'm just not, what do you mean, use the extra space?
So the road's, what do we say, 5 to 10 feet to the right?
5 to 9 feet, yeah.
So he can use that extra room. He's got to dig this all out, bring in processed gravel, and install a 4-foot wall. Then there's a space, then there's an infiltrator trench that has to go down through top and sub, come up to grade. So he'll have to build all the walls and bring that up in the middle. I don't know how he's going to do it with all the material that's already in there. Another thing that we needed is we've been asking for a construction schedule, not a timeline that'll be done in 3 months. We need to know that on this week, and you can update it, but on a project of this magnitude, there should be a construction schedule that outlines what's going to happen. It gives us all a chance if we want to go out and take a look. Because it's a big roadway through the woods, and it needs to be constructed as the plan, and we won't have any issues. So, and let him use the extra room. So he's got a whole concrete staging area to start to build the retaining walls.
Okay, all right. So,
So-
but the road's gonna be where it's supposed to be on the
He
plan?
has to follow the plan.
Plan, okay, yeah, that's fine.
And instead of worrying about the disturbance that may or may not be over 5,000, we're going to assume it's not for the conversation to make it easy to get back on track, because that's the goal, to get back on track. Because if we force them to push it over and then we start recalculating, it could be over 5, let's say it's not. Let's say when we're all done, we're going to be at the approved disturbance to the resource area, the road will be correctly, and then he can build his houses. That would be my thought, to get this back on track. If someone has a better idea, I'd be glad to listen.
No,
No,
I think the message all along has been build it per plan. I think the key, and you spoke to it, Mike, is more engineering oversight. So stake out on, his engineer's part to establish the line and grade, and then I'm on board with,
So-
or would second Graves or someone being involved, a third party to oversee that. Confirm stakeout, retaining wall, bottom inspection, any, stormwater BMPs associated with the road, so the swales, upgrading it there, I think they should look at all of that.
I think we should leave the enforcement order until he's back on track. So I think that we should allow the reclamation area to be done immediately. We don't want to hold that up. That is something that he can get done, and it'll be an area that gets a chance to restabilize. And then, as soon as we have a construction schedule, we have Graves Engineering on board with what they, a list of inspections and when they want to do them, and then we'll get back to work on the roadway.
Yeah.
Does that
Yep.
sound like a clear, and we have to follow the plan?
Yeah.
We are not interested in issuing any minor field changes and if we entertain that, then we'd have to stop the whole project and start over completely, because it's a whole different project.
Right.
I agree.
Mr. Chairman?
Yeah.
Regarding graves, when I said higher graves, which is great, but, we don't know what this schedule is or if they're already overloaded. So my recommendation is just to, somebody make a motion to solicit a quote from Graves as a 53G third-party peer reviewer for this project.
So how do we make a motion for that?
Does somebody
What are
make
we
that?
making a motion on?
Well, there's a number of different parts of the motion. There's the soliciting of Graves, there's the denial of what it sounds like a denial of the request for a minor field change and the requirement to follow the plan. I would presume that part of that would be restoring all areas that were inadvertently disturbed within the BBW at least, right? So that's another part of the motion. What am I missing?
So the engineer on board in a construction schedule.
Construction schedule is what I missed, yes. So that'd be
Once those two
number 4.
things are in place, we'll get started building the roadway.
Stakeout.
Stakeout, yes, so there's number 5, stakeout, address.
Norman's gonna have to certify and also do all these inspections. So we're gonna be looking for you to agree that everything was installed in accordance with the plan, that if it says it sits on gravel and all top and sub, that you've witnessed and done all those inspections. So that when you come back for a notice to get your building permit, Norm, you're gonna sit here with us and say that the road was constructed according to the plan and you've done all the inspections.
And as part of this motion, would you kindly release the stop work order also?
Not yet.
No?
No. We're gonna allow you under the enforcement order to do the restoration of not the restoration, the
Replication
the
area.
replication
You're
area.
gonna let him do the replication area?
Immediately.
Okay.
He paid the 5,000, right? We all
Oh,
agree.
and do the minor.
And just, he can, 10 minutes of work, he can fix the hay bale line. He's got like 8 spots, he just wants you to tighten up.
And once this is all in place, then he can start the rest of the work?
So let's say the next meeting.
Well, is it really necessary for the next meeting?
You think
Because
in
there's
2
something
weeks?
that I think that I can, not solicit, I can help along. So, basically, me or Rick would go out there, show him the 8 spots, do this fix, and then he can get into the replication area. I think that's what you want.
Oh, yeah, no, we want him to get decided. I think
So that's
as
all
far
part
as
of the
once the
enforcement.
replication area is done, starting on the roadway.
Right, so then once the replication area is done, then start on the roadway. So that's
Once
the
Graves
order
is
of
in-
operations
once
here.
Graves is in place, or an engineering firm is in place to do inspections.
Mhm.
Well, how do you start working without the third party right? So we have to have that in place.
Mhm.
One thing, Mike.
So the first step, Norman, you would certify that the erosion control to the far left side is in the approved location. That would be the first step. And then you're gonna leave everything to the right alone.
On the left-hand side, it's a stone wall, though, isn't it?
Follow the plan.
All right.
So whatever that plan says,
I think we
that's
should
what you're
get it
gonna.
in on the right-hand
Norman?
side. Yeah.
Become really familiar with the plan, please. Follow the plan. That's all you're gonna hear. That's all we've all said for months now. Hold on. Are you all set, Brandon?
So I got stakeout, solicit Graves.
Who will get a hold of Graves? Yourself?
Yeah, I can do that. I can ask them to,
Is this something you could do tomorrow so that
Oh,
we
yeah.
can get, so that we're not dragging our feet? We don't
Right.
want to hold them up. That's
Yep.
not our intent. The intent is to let them get back to work.
I'm gonna have to bring them up to speed. I'll send them a copy of the plan, show
So.
them what's going on.
And I think, let's talk, so if Brandon says, engineers in place, we have a construction schedule, they say they can meet the construction schedule with starting inspections, he could start working on the roadway. I'd be okay with that.
Yes.
Do a new pre-construction meeting, get a letter from Norman stating the erosion controls in the correct spot on the left side. The right has some, and wherever it is, we're gonna leave it till the road gets back, and then we'll correct the final right side. Bring the hay line and do a restoration. And then the plan will be followed. James Mariner had one thing to say, just then you could
Well, this
talk
is,
about
this
all
is
the.
pertinent to those two things that the two items.
Yep.
The pipe location. was discussed with Ralph at the time of installation, that is the low point in the field. That is the low point of the wetlands where it sits. Also verified by Brandon in the field. If I move that to the station of the original plan, it won't be at the low point of the wetlands.
Let's go back to the
Verified
drawing.
by
It
Brandon
show-
in the
It's got to
field.
be terminated through the wall. It's cockeyed. It's not square. Is there
That's not a
new
problem.
well, you have cut sheets from the wall
It
company
was
saying?
on, I believe it was not, it was
We
at an
don't have any
angle.
information on the construction of the wall.
It was at an angle on the original plan as
No,
well.
it's square to the original plan, it's square to the walls. Look at I spent a lot of time with this plan that I didn't want to, so I could understand what it took to build it. There's a cross-section that shows the road. Can you find that? Go back to the approved plan, please. We shouldn't look at this anymore. This is what we have to follow. If you go to the specific cut section that shows that part of the road, it shows the pipes.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
It shows the whole way the road has to be built. There's block walls, the retention, the roadway, the guardrails. This is what we're looking for. And those pipes directly terminate, there's another cross-section that actually shows the pipes. Do you know where that is, Brandon?
Another cross-section that shows the
It
pipes.
shows like, I think, the end of the pipes in a wall.
No, I don't have that. I don't have a second sheet.
Hold on. So it shows the pipe on this plan. So it must be this one, because the pipe's right there, and how it terminates through the wall. So I think, and I'm talking to us, if he feels the pipe needed to be in a new location, Norman should bring us a plan that shows the pipes in a lower elevation and why. Right, I mean, we can't make those decisions. So Norman, if you feel that the pipes need to be at a different elevation or a different location, know that you have to follow the plan. So the pipe would have to be moved somewhere within you have to follow the details of the plan. And if the pipe's in the wrong spot, we're not gonna tell you to do something. If you knowingly know they're wrong, come back with a new plan and show us where the pipe
Did
should
you
be.
not receive the plans? He sent a 4 pages of plans a month ago to you guys.
This is the only plan, just so it's clear. This is the only plan that matters. There is no other plan that matters.
But you're acting like he didn't send a plan with the pipes, and he did, though.
Well, our plan shows
It's all
where
the
pipes
moves.
will go.
That was a
We just
request
had
for
a-
minor field change. That was in the request for minor
All
field
right, so
change.
do you guys wanna vote on the field changes?
No,
Well, we have to,
we do.
yeah, right?
I don't think, I think if the road were built in the right location, and then it was a matter of locating the pipes along that, correct alignment, because of they field verified a low point, maybe that would have been, I don't want to speak for the rest of the commission, could have been considered a minor field change if it happened before, but the pipes have already been installed, the road's in the wrong place.
It was done at the time with
I
Ralph
don't-
and with Brandon. Brandon approved it as well. When it was installed.
Through the chair, no, I did not. I verified.
Wait, I don't wanna have any
location.
more discussion.
Thank you.
We'll build it by the.
All I'm gonna say is there's a plan. I agree with what you just said. Very well said, Jared. If you feel there's a spot that, in the approved plan, that those pipes should be, Norman, would be glad to address that as a minor field change, I think. That's something we would consider to be a minor field change.
Yes.
So the plan was followed, it's there in a different location in the roadway, square to the road. So what would we, so they're asking for a minor field change, Brandon, would we do a motion to
Good night.
deny?
Should you feel that you want to respond? Yeah, I don't see why not. They've requested a minor field change, and you can put it on the record that you denied it, and that the plan in front of them is the one they have to follow.
I'll make a motion to deny the, excuse me, there were two of them, right? The minor field changes for 126 Burbank Road.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Robin?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
And I, Mike, vote aye.
Still go back, I has to keep it first.
So is there any more discussion? Do we have a clear path?
Second engineer, well, he's gonna get another engineer on board to supervise?
The town, yeah.
Yep.
So it's to do inspections and just make sure.
Wetlands going? Once that's in
Wetlands.
place, he's gonna stake out the line, and I can proceed to follow.
New
the plan.
pre-construction meeting. Norman will give certification that the erosion controls on the left side are by the plan.
Yep.
And then you'll construction schedule, and that's it. Yeah.
If I may, Mr.
Nothing's
Chairman.
changed since the approval. We are literally at the same spot that the day that this got approved.
Did you vote on that motion?
We did. It was denied. So you're.
No, I mean the motion to release the stop work order.
No, we're not doing that.
Well,
Motion that Brandon was drafting
we're
about
gonna
the
leave it up to
construction
Brandon
schedule and the this and the that.
to verify that those 8 things were correct. So tomorrow morning, if you called Brandon and said it's done, go to work.
Which,
We'll take your word for it.
So I'm.
He's gonna go, just tell him what he needs to do, and if he calls and tells you it's done, let him get the replication done.
So in order to move forward with the replication, the commission has given me authority to allow that work with the conditions that 2 things need to be done. Do the fixes to the erosion controls. And I think I remember the chair saying that he wanted Graves contracted first. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Not to do the replication, just to start on the roadway.
Okay, so, but do you need that before he can start on the replication area?
No. And you know what? He could move the erosion controls on, like, let's try to let him get done as much as he can. This isn't an intent to stop work. It's an intent to make sure it's done correctly. So you could move your erosion control, you could do your inspection, Norman, you could get your letter to Brandon. Hopefully, we get an engineer on board. Usually Graves is pretty good, they are. You know, you could be to work this week. Instead of waiting for a meeting, as long as Brandon says all those are met, there's a good construction schedule, let's let him get to work on the roadway, so he doesn't have to wait for another meeting.
Okay, so that's.
So that we're not holding anything up. Because we got good weather right now, and it is the time to be in there building this roadway.
Okay, so in order to do the replication, and I guess get a partial lift of the cease and desist, the commission is going to give me the authority to do that, and the condition is that the erosion control, minor erosion control fixes must be done first.
Yeah, just have him call you and tell you it's done, just,
It's done.
you know.
Okay. But then, as far as the overall project, I have 7 things in here that the commission is looking for. Number 1 is the stakeout of everything. Second is to solicit Graves and get them on board. Assure that the replication area is, the initial construction is finished. Okay? And then as part of the I guess the restart, there'll be a new pre-construction meeting with the engineer. Applicant will provide a construction schedule, and the applicant shall provide an engineer's letter certifying that the erosion controls have been put in the correct place along the correct limit of disturbance.
On the left side.
On the left side only, okay. Yes, right, certified ESAs on left side only. And I have in parentheses, follow plan.
And because we know where the right side is, we have a plan that shows where the right side of the erosion control is.
And I want to say too, like, now there's parts on the right side going in where material's going to be scooped out, right? Because it's not supposed to be there to begin with, right? Because everything got shifted 5 to 10 feet to the south. So ultimately, some of that material is going to have to be taken out and replaced or removed. And then the areas that were disturbed will have to eventually be restored. That we really haven't gotten into tonight, but maybe we could do that, deal with that as we go along, because we've already got a lot.
Let me
going
just
on right
rephrase
now.
it. We're trying to keep it simple, so I'm hoping that when he says the roadway's done, and when we go there, he's kind of cleaned it all up, fixed the erosion controls, maybe he did some plantings, and we say that was good enough. Because there was probably a few trees. It was a pretty wet wetland, it couldn't have been a lot growing. And it's all still there. I
Well,
just think that,
For example.
let's see what it looks like when the road's done. He knows that he couldn't disturb anything outside that. Whatever was approved,
Here's what I recommend.
just as you're building the road, fix it. You know it can be that easy, right? It can.
Here's what
And
I
then
recommend.
when it comes time, and you say the road's done, and we do a final inspection, and we look at that right side, it's gonna look pretty good. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
That, my hope.
My recommend is for the commission to reserve your right to require restoration, should you so feel it's needed in the future.
Oh, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
I think that's the simplest way to say it. Reserve your right to require restoration if needed in the future.
That all makes sense.
Okay.
Does anybody have, James, you did want to speak. Did you?
Question answered.
Okay, thank you. Sometimes that's why I say just let's, and then if you had a few. Do you guys, as the applicants, is there anything that we could do to make it go quicker, you think?
I just wasn't clear if that was voted on, yes or no, about this motion with all these conditions for Brandon. Did you make a motion? Did that get seconded and
Well,
voted?
This is a discussion.
This is a discussion.
And you're
So-
under enforcement, so.
Yeah, so the conversation is going to be had with Brandon. If the things are done, then you guys can start.
No, let's make a motion so it's clear of all those. Can you give Robin that list? And we'll do it with a motion, that way there's a record of exactly what we wanted. Yeah. No, we're good, that's fair enough, Norman.
So we're going to make a motion to what?
That these are the conditions of the enforcement order. And we'll leave the enforcement in place until he's back on track. When there's no more disturbance outside of where he's supposed to be, there'll be no more enforcement.
Are you
'Cause the
erasing-
enforcement started when the
Are you
work-
erasing inappropriate doodles? Is that what's happening?
I'm ready. I would start.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I wrote them down.
In order.
Oh, let Tim do it, because he already wrote them
I
down.
hate to volunteer for something like that.
No, you got it.
Volunteer, Tim.
Come on.
He has man writing.
You can supplement with this chicken scratch if you so wish.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion that the following conditions be met as part of the enforcement order. Number one, that the property be properly staked out. Number two, we'll solicit a quote from Graves Engineering for peer review. Number three, Brandon, complete the replication area. Number four, have a new pre-construction meeting with the engineer. Number five, certify the erosion controls on the left side. Follow the plan. Provide a construction schedule. And I went out of order. And in parentheses, follow the plan. Did I get
I
it
guess
all?
one more thing, just completion of the roadway
Oh, and
or any construction of homes.
provide a construction schedule, and, yeah.
That was in the original approval, but.
Okay,
Right, that's in
Just so
order
it's clear.
to start road construction again.
okay.
In order to do the so that's one motion, why don't you?
And that was a condition of the building department as well. John was going to require the roadway to be base coated before he issued any permits.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. Robin, how do you vote?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
And I, Mike, vote aye. Thank you.
I wish I could read my handwriting a little bit better. It would be much
I
easier.
couldn't read his at all.
All right, so the discussion is done. Let's talk about board reorganization. I would make a thought that we would want Bill here for this.
Yes,
unless-
100%.
Unless we make him the chair again. No.
I mean, yeah, probably gonna happen anyway, but
Did you want to leave everything the same? I think, Bill.
I think we do.
We could vote on it tonight if nothing's changing, because I do believe, well, Bill doesn't have a say because he's not here, so he gets to be the chair.
Yeah.
So if we want to,
I like our little flow.
keep everything the same, somebody wants to make a motion, I can't.
So,
We feel we should make some change, let's wait for Bill.
no, I make a motion to keep the,
Read off the,
Each position.
okay, so I make a motion to,
oh, wait a minute.
I can't, we're not reorganizing.
We are
To maintain-
reorganizing, but we're leaving it alone.
Okay, so I make a motion to maintain the board as has been to this point.
All positions will stay the same.
All positions will stay the same.
Second.
Have a motion, and a second. Robin?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
And I, Mike, vote aye. All right, next is the minutes. We're going to table the minutes We can do, okay, so we need a motion to approve the minutes of 06:04:25, 06:11:25.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the minutes of 6:4 and 6:11:25.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Robin?
Aye.
Tim?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
And I vote aye. We're going to table the minutes of 06:18:25, 07:09:25.
Do we have to make a motion for that?
Okay.
I don't think so.
Move right on.
All right, let's move on.
Certificate of compliance for 100 Worcester Providence Turnpike.
Need to recuse myself.
Okay. Brandon, you are up.
Let me bring in some pictures on that.
You guys are gonna lose me in like 5 minutes because I have to leave.
This is a site, I would say, a month ago, and I saw some erosion.
There's nothing
So I
This is COC.
did not
You
recommend
have to sign that.
I do.
that it be given a certificate of compliance at that time.
Jared. It's over there on the.
And then I visited the site again on the 9th. And one thing that they did do is they put up, in the areas where there was erosion, they put up erosion control blankets. Here's some general observations. Okay, let me, where to start? Okay. Let's just go through it. Give everybody a tour. I got a lot of pictures here, but I think it's worth to do it. Okay, zoom, share. 146 on your left-hand side. Part of the parking on the right-hand side, the slope is stable. Then I turn, oh, come on. Hold on. Okay. I turn 180 degrees and I'm looking to the north. That's stable. And then I start to turn left again. Here's the slope. They cut into this slope. So the old drive-in used to come down gradually with the cars, kind of on a slope. But now they dug into it to make this more level. It's not perfectly level. So it has a slope, so water runs and doesn't pool, but it's much more level than the drive-in ever was. And you'll notice at the bottom, the vegetation is much greener, and up here it's more brown. Well, down at the bottom, it's kind of squishy, as opposed to up here, and that's because up in these woods, there is a wetland. And I think that part of this whole process, and something that I thought of, but to what degree it would have an impact, I don't really know, that there would be some seepage along the slope. And to that effect, you'll see the stone down here. So they created a perimeter drain around the parking lot. And we'll get back to that a little bit later. Here's the building. This is the east side of the building. Looking south with 146 on your left. This is the north side of the building with that cut slope. And the stone perimeter drain right here. This is the west side of the building. And then I turn around, this is the north side right here. So going this direction is north. Here's that slope. There's water weeping out, even on July 9th. And here's a good weepage spot right here in the corner. So this would be the northwest corner of the parking lot. I actually walked up this, and when I hit this, I went up to my ankles in mud. And here's the perimeter drain. This is their on-site water supply, which is brand new and freshly painted. I am now on the west side of the parking lot, looking north. That spot where I told you in the northwest corner that was really wet is right here. Then I turn around 180 degrees, I look south. This is where the perimeter drain ends, and from here it goes into a pipe, which then discharges over in between, where these boulders are. But before I went over there, I went up the hill, around the water tower. And this was a spot where there was erosion, but they put up some erosion control blanket, and it looks stable to me, it looks good. Even though it's not 100%, I think that having the blanket there is a very good thing, and I'm not concerned about that area anymore. Then I keep on walking up the hill. They had a requirement to install trees, which they have done. I'm at the top of the hill now. Here's the building. This is the west side of the building. And next thing I want you to notice is that they put up all of their buffer zone signs. These are well cemented into the ground. I could not budget at all. And this is the wetland that's on the top of the hill on the north side that I was alluding to earlier. And then I turn around, and you can see where the water pools in here. Now I'm up in that northwest corner. Again, here's that wet northwest corner out here, looking down, kind of looking southeasterly. That's a nice view. And now I'm looking a little more easterly here. And I get the whole thing. Same thing showing the slope on the north side. The wetland is over here in the woods. Property line is right around here too. Once again, I went to that wetland at the top of the hill, turned around, you can see the urban wetland species in here. I wanted this all cleaned up originally, but figured I learned that I couldn't because it's not actually their property. Looking at the slope again, looking south along the west side, you can see that drainage ditch pretty good. One of the trees that they installed, all looking good. One thing I wanted to point out is that the wetland at the top of the hill drains in a westerly direction before going into a pipe. And the pipe is completely clogged up. And then what you have to do is you have to work overland. But before I did that, Mr. Marin asked me if I could please take a look around his property because of concerns that he had. So I walked around the area more or less adjacent to 100 Worcester Providence Turnpike. And this is more or less what it looks like. Which will be, I presume, talking points for Mr. Marin. And now I'm back on site. That pipe that I just showed you that was clogged up on the north end, this is where it daylights. So this is like a, I don't know, 100, maybe 200-foot section of land where there's a pipe, where there's now mature forest over it that must have been filled in at one time and a pipe put in there. Because it's pretty old, because you can see the old fieldstone head wall. And then what happens is, you turn around, that water just discharges into the woods, which goes into the wetland. And then from there, I came out of the woods, I came back down the hill the way I came, and then I went over to the spot where that perimeter drain daylights. Right over here. So here's where it daylights. You see the pipe? Okay. When I was there in June, there was still water coming out of that pipe. And it was making a mess over in this corner to the point where you can see how the bottom of the silt fence is all brown. It's because there was so much water and other debris that had knocked the silt fence down, and the water was running off into the wetland, which is, in fact, you can see a blue flag right. Can you see it? Not really, but see that blue flag? That's a wetland flag.
Just because we're on this, is that erosion control installed right now?
It is.
So they can't get compliance without, oh, go ahead, finish.
Yeah. So I had them fix this. And it's looking pretty good now. Then I just kept on winding my way down the hill. Grass is growing. The basin has water in it. I just want to point that out. Jared has any comments about that? And then just walking my way down the hill. It's all very well grassed in, stable. This is down by 146. They put some erosion control blanket over here, right near the entrance. Here's the entrance looking in. Here's your Mass DEP file number, your tube, presumably with the order of conditions in the approved plan. And then I decided to go over to the brook and get a picture right here for posterity, to show what it looks like right now in case there's some kind of calamity where things change in the future. And this is what the brook system looks like now. And here's where the erosion control is. So if in the future, suddenly we see all this clear cut, we'll have reference to how it should have been and what was there beforehand. And that's the end of the tour.
No, my comment, no order of condition with all the erosion control intact.
That's fine. Well, what I would like to hear from the commission is that you're comfortable with the silt fence coming down. I could direct them to do that, and then at the next meeting, they could get a certificate of compliance.
Do one more inspection. Did you see any need for it?
I don't, if they take down the erosion controls, I really don't see the need for another inspection. No problem doing it, there's money in the budget for it.
Well, it's not about that. It's just, you should go and just, I see a lot of biodegradable, they can leave those, pull the stakes and pick up the black silt fence.
Okay.
And leave the biodegradable wattles to do what they're supposed to do. Just too many black fences out there.
That's fine.
That are 10 and 15 years old that I find.
I wrote it down.
Yeah, okay. It is, it makes it, I mean,
No, it should come out.
we're worried about the nylon net on a wattle, but we'll leave black silt fence everywhere in the, you know.
Oh, we don't want that.
No. It looks good, I thought, the project. So what's your overall thoughts?
My overall thought is that it looks good. This project, I had PTSD from the Blue Wave, okay? And this one being so close to 146, I was kind of freaking out. But
I always saw it good, well-run
it
site.
stayed really, they did a really good job with the construction, especially with the stability of the soils.
James, you all set?
Yep.
Anybody else on the board?
Just the one comment about the basin, was that an infiltration basin? Just
I don't
refresh my
remember.
memory?
I don't
'Cause
remember.
The water, obviously, if it was, should
Supposed to.
drain within 72 hours, so
Right.
that could be a maintenance-related concern or something to address beforehand.
I will.
Anybody from the, Jamie, would you like to speak?
I would. Brandon, can you go back to the picture of the, not of the woods, but of
Slope?
the slope with the green on the bottom and the,
Mm-hmm. Well, this one,
yeah, that kind of does the.
that kind of does the trick here, and I'll zoom in. Yeah.
I had asked Brandon to go take a look at the woods that I have, because there's, if you look at the way the grass is on the bottom, and it's green on the bottom and dying on the top. If you were to, so that hill kind of reproduces itself on my property, right? It goes up to a high grade and then it comes down. There's a similar line now in my woods where there's an understory at the elevation where the green is and pretty much nothing above it. The understory's completely gone. used to be ferns and all sorts of stuff, so my concern is that when they excavated, they got into the groundwater, and they've created what could be a pretty significant issue. You can see, when you walk through the woods, it's just like the green and the dead grass on top of it is firmly delineated. On the other side, there's...
Is there new sunlight that's been added? I know that affects the canopy of the forest, so
Nope,
they cleared
it's-
this whole
it's-
site?
Nope, it's
So nothing's
the-
changed as
no,
far as the
absolutely
canopy?
nothing has changed. There's just no understory that matches that elevation, up to that elevation on the, or down to that elevation on the other side. So the water that's weeping, I would imagine they probably cut into the groundwater table. And my concern is that all the trees, I'm less concerned about the understory as I am about the mature trees that divide my property from an industrial property. And 146, it's a noise buffer to 146.
Do that final inspection, Brandon, if everybody thinks, why don't you take a look at what Jamie's talking about?
I think
At
he
least,
did.
Jamie, I don't know.
I find it hard
I
to
don't know what
believe
we could do to
myself.
fix it, I mean,
I don't-
that could be, right, I mean, you could do a cut that big, and it just, does it lower it, or is it just dry it out quicker?
I think there's potential for it. I mean, I've not seen it myself personally, but I have, like in my previous roles and working for communities, we've evaluated earth removal permits, you know, in excess of 500 cubic yards of material that was going to be removed, and those were part of the concerns from abutters, is there going to be well impacts or any deviation in the groundwater table, you know, and some of those conditions were monitoring wells, and, you know, I don't know if the time has passed for that, because we have no
500
baseline.
500 cubic, that's it?
Yeah, that's.
You get on
that's
the Carver earth removal board.
Yeah, that's, so, I don't know, I forget what the amount of material was on this particular site, but,
But in this picture, you can see the weeping very clearly.
yeah.
And it goes even further up the hill. So one thing I will say about Mr. Marin's concern with his forest, when I was walking back there, I did notice that the understory dropped off very quickly once the forest went from an oak dominant to white pine dominant. So white pines are very acidic, and not as much tends to grow underneath those as, say, a deciduous forest, which there was a lot of huckleberry in that understory versus the pine. So, you know, one of the basic concepts of scientific theory is that connection doesn't always mean correlation. So you have to weigh all these things. Is the cutting of the slope and the weeping directly related to the issues with vegetation on Mr. Marin's land? Could it be something else? Could it be one of like a dozen different things? Maybe. It's going to be tough to prove it.
Under the pine trees, there never was much of an understory, and now there's no real understory. That remains pretty much unchanged. It's in the hardwood sections where there was a pretty significant understory, and now there's none. And you can see when you walk on the other side, at the same grade on the other side of the hill, you can see as clear of a line as, you know, the green went to the dead grass. That's understory, no understory. It's as clean of a line as that one is.
All right.
Graves did, this went through the planning board, it went through all the boards. Graves was involved. I think that, I didn't even really notice this was an issue until a few months ago. Probably a month ago. Went back, reviewed the old meetings in conservation where Brandon did site visits. The weeping had been documented throughout he had made some comments at the meetings as it related to, you know, he identified the wetland area and that there were issues. It's been an issue throughout the construction of the project based on site visits that Brandon's done. I would like to suggest that we get Graves involved, since they did all the pre-construction work with the planning board, and have them render an opinion as to whether or not there's a correlation between the two. I wasn't looking to I didn't think that there would be an issue, right? I mean, it went through the planning board, it went through peer review, it went through conservation, it went through a million boards. And I figured everything was gonna be okay, and it may not be. I don't know enough one way or the other, and I don't have photographs that document, I didn't think that I needed to document a prior condition of construction as it related to something like this. I didn't see that as an issue. But it appears as though it may be. I'm not trying to say definitively it is. I don't know enough to know whether
It's getting late,
it is or
Jamie,
isn't.
so let's do this. Brandon, would you do you guys agree? We'll reach out to Graves and have them do an inspection with, do we think it's necessary?
I think to have them render an opinion can't, if they were involved at the onset, I think that's, can't
Could
hurt.
you do
Well,
that?
if
You're
they're
gonna-
gonna give an opinion, they're gonna wanna get paid. And I don't know if there's any money in that, for that. And where would they be taking it from? Because it's not the Conservation Commission that had Graves as a 53G consultant, it was a planning board. So if they did this for the Conservation Commission, can they then draw off any funds that are with planning board? I don't know.
Well, can we pay them out of our 53G account for a consultant?
I don't see why you couldn't. It would come out of the funds that were dedicated to ecosystem solutions.
So-
That said, there's plenty of money in there. There's going to be, at this point, there should be a significant refund.
And if there's not, before we issue the certificate of compliance, to just pay the balance in full if there's, yeah.
All right, that's fine.
You don't need a motion for that.
Nope.
It's a condition for the certificate of compliance.
Okay.
So erosion control cleaned up, a final inspection, you'll reach out to Graves and you'll discuss that area Jamie's talking about, and we'll ask them to give us a letter of their thought, write us up a field report. We'd like a field report. I don't know what their thoughts are.
Jerry,
Jamie?
given your experience, if you wanted to take a look at it, I'd love to show it to you.
Yeah, I would be interested to see it. Like I said, I haven't seen it actually play out that way, but I've heard a number of concerns on other projects like this. And there was conditions ahead of time, to kind of mitigate any potential for that. And obviously that wasn't on anyone's radar in this case, but, yeah, we can coordinate.
Okay, thank you.
There's probably some validity to it, because up at Waters Farm, we had those wet fields. They had an engineered plan. We dug all these trenches, filled them all with stone, and the fields are much drier. So there is probably, I don't know if we changed the water table up there, but I know the fields are drier than they've ever been. And that was a year or so ago we did it.
In the spring, when the water table is at its highest, on the top of the hill, it literally comes out of the ground.
Yeah.
I don't know. People have tried to explain to me how water could defy gravity like that, and I still don't understand, but
It's gotta be pressure, right? Is that
Yeah,
what pushes it up?
basically,
Pressure
yeah.
in the ground.
the wetland that Brandon, the wetland in the upper left-hand corner of this picture that Brandon pointed out before is at top of grade. That's at the top of the elevation.
All right, anybody else? Okay, with nobody else, let's move on to the next 90 Armsby Road for a certificate of compliance.
I recommend complete certificate of compliance. The issue was that they needed to stabilize some soil where the grass wasn't growing. They brought in sod, so it looks great. So
make
it's
a motion.
stable, and I recommend full COC.
I make a motion to issue a complete certificate of compliance for 90 Armsby Road.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Tim?
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
Aye.
I say aye. 1 Smith Road.
Let me bring in the pictures up for that one. Can I write down this one first?
Oh, yes. Come on, this is
Considering how much we did.
2.5 hours?
Yeah, it's not
It's not bad.
No, it's not.
For everything that was on here, that's actually.
Oh,
pretty
this is
good.
like 2 meetings, Which one's this, do you know?
Certificate of compliance.
That's 90.
So you're not signing 100 tonight, right?
There was that one I didn't want to sign, yeah, you made sure I missed it. All right,
Okay, yeah, almost there. 2579, all right. And pictures. Share. Here we go. So the object was mitigate for the unauthorized clearing behind the house that was originally beyond the limit of work. And then there was the issue of the trees that were supposed to go in a semicircle around the house. And the commission had a requirement to do some plantings, which are, here we go, here it is. This is a cease and desist from.
well drilling.
From 5/4/22.
You on?
Yeah. Yeah, create a planting plan if needed, okay. Anyway, so here's the plantings, let me show you. And you just tell me if you're satisfied. He showed me the receipts of the trees that he bought. And then the bushes for the front of the house. And then here I am just going around taking pictures again. And we start with the red maples. Here's a couple of the red maples. Here's the retaining wall that he built. Right here. Looking pretty good. That's solving some erosion problems. And then we get into the backyard. So everything on the left side of the silt fence, he cut, well, that area he wasn't supposed to cut, and he did some cutting. So as mea culpa, he had to put in red maple plantings, and there was about a dozen. And they're all there, and they look great. And they're all healthy. And then in the front yard, you said do plantings, and you didn't really specify where they needed to go, so he put them in the mulch bed in front of the house, and he put in a plant called Rosa rugosa. So it's a species of rose. So tell me if you're satisfied with that or not.
Jamie? Are you happy?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Except the silt fence.
He's got to take the silt fence down.
I told him to do that.
Is it down?
I don't know.
I would bet he did it.
He said he was going to do it.
He has done everything we've asked. So if you talk to him, are we still comfortable to give him his certificate of compliance? I'll drive by tomorrow and I'll talk to him and bang on his door if they're not gone. Because
Is this
just to,
Yeah, let's move on.
and I say it just yeah, all
It's been
right.
on the agenda for 8.
A motion, please?
I will make a motion to issue a complete certificate of compliance for 1 Smith Road.
Second.
Okay, motion, Tim.
Aye.
Jared?
Aye.
Jamie?
Aye.
And Mike says aye. That's it. Project review from form other town bodies. Enforcement, is there any project review forms?
Doesn't look like it.
Any project review forms,
No,
Wanda?
not
Okay.
this time.
Any enforcement issues or unexpected business?
No.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Tim?
Aye.
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 Aye. Thank you, everyone. What's this for?